Ihr habt lang genug gewartet, aber jetzt sind wir da. 40k Kings of the Hill, jetzt gibt's die Bars. Mach den Airbrush an und dann Bass die Figur. Pack die Würfel in den Sack und dann straight auf die Tour. Fahr nach Bedburg, Berlin, München oder Hamburg. Spellica, TTM, egal welcher Standort. Hauptsache zocken, je härter, desto besser. Battle Rap Tactics, jede Woche fresher. Normal! Befeuern Bolter wie ein Space Marine. Danach wechseln wir entspannt in dir, South of Dream. Du kannst machen, was du willst, wir killen Screen. Kings of the Hill, kommen nicht mit War Machine.
So now it's moving when we talk.
Yeah. Now that should hear us.
Yep. So if we're silent, let's see if it just stops moving.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Okay,
now-
so
now-
they should be able to hear us now.
Guys, can you let us know if you can hear us or not? We have some technical stuff here, of course. I'm getting there. I put the chat. I put us here.
Okay.
I think that's better, so we can also interact with the chat. It's a bit suboptimal that it's in white on white. I see also here. You
Yep.
know.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah. I'll double check on the phone. I see it here. Guys, can you hear us well? Is it too loud? Is it not too loud? Can you hear the music? Can you give us quickly feedback on this one? That would be very nice. Yes, Sintas, I know I'm not the most technical guy, so I apologize.
All good. Glad everyone can hear us. Glad to be here today.
Okay. All right, guys. I think we can start then. Whenever you don't hear us well or the music is too loud, please just put it in the chat, so we can just start. Because as you can see, John and I think John looks fresher than I do, but from the inside we are kind of destroyed. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I would just start as a host. We are here in Germany. Obviously, as you see, John and I are friends. Also, Michaela, his wonderful girlfriend. It's still girlfriend, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Is here. I had the honor to host these guys for a couple of days, so showed them something of Germany, etc. And now today is the day after the World Team Championship where we gather here, and we just want to take the chance still, because we don't see each other that many times a year in person.
Absolutely.
And just want to give you guys some feedback of how it went, what we did, and of course we also want to give all you guys the opportunity to ask us questions, and especially also for our audience, you can ask John many questions as you want. That's what we're here for. And with that, welcome, John.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to be here. So happy to be here. We just got back from the WTC. I assume everyone knows that, and it's been really, really fun. So it's Monday for anyone watching after the fact.
Yeah.
It is the Monday after WTC. We are less than 24 hours removed from being in the building in the tournament.
Yeah.
Of course, Adrian was on Team Germany. I was a member of Team USA. And after 4 days of hard-fought battles and not full nights of sleep, we're back. But man, what a weekend, right?
What a weekend. I mean, I think it will be also very interesting today, because now the time is over to keep away the secrets.
Exactly. Yeah.
Everything, all the tactics were out. I think it can be also very interesting for you guys, since John has more, not only a player role for Team USA, you were also involved in kind of pairing ideas and tactical approaches towards other countries. So that's something that we also maybe are gonna discuss today and see how it goes. So we really go with the flow. We don't want to be too schedule-y on this one, right?
Of course, yeah. It's right after, everything is still kind of fresh in our heads, but it's refreshing. We get to talk about it. Everyone was so quiet. Adrian and I talked a little bit before the event, but it was very fun since, you were so gracious to host me, but we also knew there was a good chance that our teams would play. As a matter of fact, they did. And of course, that meant that for a week, Adrian was being a wonderful host, showing me Germany, while we were trying not to talk about Warhammer, because I didn't want him to know and he didn't want me to know what we knew.
Yeah, and it also made sense because US had some list that had certain concepts or ideas or a role to fill, and Germany as well. So we can start like easily now. I think there's one question from Zintas. Don't show him too much, otherwise he will move here and as a result stomp us on some tables across the country. I wouldn't mind that, actually. It would help our community, and I think also they wouldn't be too. So far, I would say you're not too. You like Germany, right? Like,
I love Germany. I love Germany. I also think I look good in the jersey.
Yeah.
It's a good looking jersey.
Yeah, thank you, brother. I mean, and for all of you who don't know, John has also ancestors from Germany, is right?
I do indeed. I'm about 25% German. But yep, I can trace back to some grandparents and great grandparents from Germany.
Yeah, that's amazing. So one other question before we start from Basti: what happened to France this year? France is I think we can go into the placings real quick,
Absolutely.
which is not a surprise. So
They started very well, quite impressive, I think. Then I think they had some late struggles, it looked like.
So obviously, what you can say about France is France has one of the most dense and strongest communities in the world. Whenever they have create content, whenever they do things, they are, they have hundreds, sometimes thousands of spectators and stuff like that. They have so many clubs, and I don't know, have they ever won the WTC? I'm not sure about that. I think once.
I don't know if they've ever won the ETC. If so, I would guess once. Unfortunately, even though I've always been following Team USA, I don't remember who has won every year. I'm a relative newcomer to WTC. My first year was post-COVID. That was my first time being a member of the team. So for the 15 years before that, however many there have been, I do not know who won all of them, other than the fact that Poland and Germany have won a few, and the USA has won one. Those are the numbers I know.
Gotcha. I don't know if their cook underperformed, but as you can see now here, I scroll a bit down for you guys. 11th place, it's not top 10, obviously. I think they definitely would have aimed for that. And you can see they had a strong pot face. They had, I think, Scotland, was it? Iceland and another
UN
country.
team.
And the UN team.
Yeah. But I believe they had one of the UN team that actually finished quite well. It's always difficult to predict how strong a UN team will be, but I believe the UN team they faced ended up performing quite well. Yeah. And definitely had some competitive rounds, as well as the round 4.
Yeah, definitely. So on this one, you could say they performed quite well because they won all their pot games. But the pot phase, so that's also the group phase, it's also very important since we play the Swiss system where you have to gather a lot of points, which helps you later because as you face more tougher opponents later, it's more unlikely that you will have a blowout win. So the pot phase is really important to score high, right?
Yep, exactly. It's certainly something we practice a lot with Team USA as well.
Yeah, so you could see here, France in the beginning, they won, and then their fourth game also they won, and then 2 losses. Can you see? You can see it. Nice. Yep. So against UN won, then Australia in 4th game.
That's a tough round 4.
They won. That's pretty impressive.
It's quite impressive. They had a really strong start to the weekend.
Yeah, so that was really good. And then against England, they lost. Sweden lost. I think that's a surprise there.
But both very close. Very close.
Very close. And then Belgium, France, that's the rivalry because they're nice neighbors. That was a draw. So they started like strong, but then slowly declined a bit, which is unfortunate, right? And I think the reason why it's difficult to say. I think we for that we have to look into the list, and if we do that for each country, we kind of
unfortunately, I as much as I would love to, I'm still ready to talk Warhammer. That is a very long stream, and I do have to fly home at some point.
Yeah, we will just do a casual round for you guys today, so apologies for that. There's some more people coming in. Lim, hello to you as well. I don't know, are you home already, or are you still there for the wrap-up meetings? But thanks for joining. Gotha Soldier, it's a rare view indeed, yes. And most surprising faction, you didn't expect to do that well at the WTC. Also, which faction did you expect to see but were surprised by the list or how it was played? Okay, good to know that you're home. So TK, I think that's a twofer. So I will start first. The most surprising faction I didn't expect to do well at the WTC for me is Tyranids, obviously, but we will go deeper I think a little later. And which faction I expect to see but were surprised by the list, how it was played. Maybe also Grey Knights, I would say, or maybe some Astra Militarum stuff. Yeah,
for me, the biggest overperformer, I guess would be the way to say it, the one that I wasn't expecting that did better than I thought, would be Astra Militarum. I played some games with Astra Militarum in the lead up to it, but I quite frankly underestimated their strength. I either didn't quite put it all together in practice. I didn't quite get there. Maybe a small part of it was that I was hesitant to go buy all of those batteries. I just didn't want to do that. So maybe I kind of projected a little bit. It's not that good. I don't have to go buy these models. Let me just play Custodies. It's cheaper. But Astra Militarum performed very impressively for, two top teams. I saw, again, the final match had an Astra Militarum player on each side. So now I have to go home and paint up God's Ghosts.
Yeah. No, God's Ghosts, I have them up there. Basti reminds me to play the Twitch game for every new follower and bits. I think someone got the bits here. That's from Basti, yeah?
I saw some bits and I saw it too.
Yeah.
Sorry.
100 bits here. Greets from Switzerland. Thank you so much, Basti.
Thank you.
I've also seen your name more often recently, so thank you for that. But new followers today, I haven't seen any, but if there are, thank you so much, guys. Do you think, with how well Jack's Grey Knights did, that there are some factions that have underexplored options that might have make them perform better than expected? Sisters are coming to mind for me from Toxic. I think this is a good start to go into the whole thing, because obviously for you guys it's very important to say that. Basti, thank you again for 100 bits. I can see them
Thank
here.
you.
I put the alert there. Obviously, John is going from the US perspective. I go from the German perspective, and I come from a Custodies player perspective. John as well, but since John also did some pairing, he can also give some more insights about some other things. So with that, we can see. First things, we give some kudos here. Poland
Absolutely.
won this thing straight up.
Yep.
Like, there's no doubt about it. You can see it up top here. Like, impressive wins, even high wins in later rounds. That's they only have one draw, which is against you guys. So
Yep.
that's kind of a performance right there. Second place, US, also undefeated.
Yep.
The only difference is not even some points, but 2 draws instead of 1.
2 draws instead of 1. We had a wonderful round against Poland with as tight of a draw as you could ask for, 81-79.
Yeah.
Tons of games that were swingy both ways, ended in a draw. I think neither of us were, happy with the draw, but neither of us were disappointed either. There's a lot of respect in that round between both teams.
Absolutely.
But the difference is that each of us played England. And we drew with England, so a second draw for us, while Poland got a very convincing win. And that means they earned that first place. And, playing against Poland this year, they were very, very impressive. They well earned their victory, so congratulations to Poland. Everyone on that team earned it, and it was wonderful facing them.
Yeah, so that's really impressive. Then podium, third place, Australia. So they were the reigning champion. They had struggled a bit in the middle, as you could see, a draw in the pot phase against
I believe Belgium.
Belgium,
I believe Belgium drew Australia.
and then a loss against France, obviously, but then they came back strong. Sweden, I think, is the surprise this year, also for us. England, then they had a shot, but then in the end game they kind of lost it.
Absolutely.
And we will come to that. We started super strong, but then we had some overall meta, I think, or structure problems. So with that, I think we can talk about the preparation for this year.
Let's do it.
How did we do? Because we can say after this will be a learning year for us. So maybe it's very interesting for you guys. Just a little context for you. Last year, US, we drew the last game and you came in 4th place.
We came in 4th, and I believe you all came in 3rd.
Yes.
For a well-earned podium that we were just so close to reaching.
Yeah.
But you beat us out to it, fair and square.
Yeah. And then, but you took it as a straight-up lesson, and you said, so it was around the same time last year. After that, you started preparing like from September on, kind of October.
Yep.
For this year. So maybe a little context. What did you do? What did you take from that? And how did you prepare for this year? And
Absolutely. So to summarize the way that WTC went for us last year, obviously after the break of COVID, we had a bit of a reset as a team where there's been a lot of, new players rising up in the United States in our meta. And so last year we only had 2 players of the 8 would ever been to an ETC in the past. And so 6 new players for WTC. And we brought what we thought was a very strong team. And we came, 4th place, but we felt we came very close to victory. We ended up drawing with Australia, the eventual champions, giving them their only non-win of the event. Once again, our USA drawing the team that wins and being their only draw is something I'm proud of, but also sticks. Because we were 2 points away from defeating the Australians. And so a lot of us were looking at that as, we were so close. Then we lost to Poland, drew with Germany after beating England. And so there was 2 points against, Australia and 3 points against Germany. And, we were 4th place, but we were 5 points away from 1st. And that obviously stung with us a little bit, but we didn't take that as we just got unlucky. We tried to take lessons from it. There's definitely a perception from the USA and ETC throughout the long while that we just bring a lot of singles players and hope it goes well. And we have got 1 star on our jerseys because it did work out at least once. Credit to that team, which I couldn't really tell you much about their prep or process other than that they won, and I know who was on it. But we took that as, okay, we have a lot of new players to WTC who are very good, but let's now try to become a WTC team. And so we took about September off, and then starting in October after WTC, we started prepping for it. We started trying to revamp our process because obviously, since we're a continent away, it's a little harder for us to practice the WTC method. Throughout the year, we're not practicing it.
Yeah.
We play on different terrain every time we go to an event. If we go to a team event, it's a different format, it's a different terrain setup. It's not natural, it's not easy for us to practice the WTC format. And because it's so far away, we didn't approach it the same way that a lot of the European teams did. And we noticed last year, all of us who were there for the first time, we're looking around and we see 12, Australian coaches walking around, helping with models, getting them food, getting them water. And we're like, why are there so many people on the team? You only need 8, right? You only need 8 people. Like, well, what are all these people doing? And we had a few coaches, we didn't have no coaches. We had 3 last year. But we really wanted to expand the team as a whole because last year our team was our 3 coaches, the 8 people chosen to play, and no one else. We had no players in the background helping us out. We had no players practicing with us outside of the team. We would just ask a friend and hope that they understood the WTC process.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we spent a year adding prospects and trying to have a larger team where, yes, we'd pick 8 playing members and more than 3 coaches to go from there. We wanted to have a bigger support staff and a lot of more players to practice against who were more experienced with WTC because the reality of a practice game for us before last year was we either practice against someone on the team where we both want to play our lists and no one wants to play the other lists because we are all trying to practice, or we grab a friend and say, hey, this is what terrain is like. I know you've never seen this before. Can you play a list I'm handing you from someone else that you don't understand? And they're all just like, I'm not going to Europe, I guess, but it's not the same, right? If the person you play against isn't invested in WTC, it's not representative practice.
Yeah.
So we really just tried to take the last year to work on our preparation and our practice, and we felt as a team that we were a much better prepared team than last year. We thought that last year we genuinely could have won if we were just a little more prepared, where 2 points here, 3 points here, a small mistake here, a small mistake there, that we could have avoided if we understood the tournament a little better. And we just tried to take all that experience and turn it into a method that we could continue for years, because we want Team USA. Now, obviously, we're very happy with the podium. We do want 1st place, but we want to always be at the top competing. That's important to us. We always want to be competing, always at a shot. We don't want to have a good year, a down year, a good year, a down year. We want
consistency.
Exactly. Consistency is what we're looking for year to year. Even when the players turn over, we want experience to carry through the team.
That totally makes sense. Thank you, brother. So we have here from Nicolas 200 bits. Thank you so much.
Ooh, thank you.
Thank you for the support. So Poland mentioned that they had brought USA's org list. No, that they mentioned they would have brought USA's org list had they found it. Is there any list you think Team USA would have brought if they had perfect information? Yeah, obviously T-Suns, right?
So we knew going in that Thousand Suns was before lists went live, we knew Thousand Suns was the best army we weren't taking.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were surprised that we didn't take Thousand Suns. And yeah, if we'd had more time and perfect knowledge to practice everything we wanted and crack everything we wanted, Thousand Suns, there's several impressive Thousand Suns lists, Arn from Team Germany, Vic from Team England. There were several very successful Thousand Suns players. So I don't want to say that I wish we had, but that's the one we would have looked at the most.
Gotcha. And then Neurobladed says, what did you think of the Dark Angels list from Poland? Why do you think they took DA instead of other armies that they are conventionally considered stronger?
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that first, or do you want me to go first?
From what I can say, I practiced it twice, this list. I felt it's super strong because many people do underestimate this Black Knight's rig.
Yeah.
It's -1 damage, the output, and
So good.
also with it in the combination with the Land Raider Redeemer, which can either shoot well, overwatch well, and it's also a thing you have to crack, and you can do some very nice positioning with it for the mission, especially on Search and Destroy. I felt like also it was very interesting. That was a nuance in terms of Marines. I mean, if you overall take Marines, which was very interesting, and I really liked it, to be honest. But
Yeah, I liked the Dark Angel list quite a bit. Dark Angels in my mind is the second best of the Space Marine chapters. We took Death Watch. I still believe in Death Watch, but in our practice process, we considered both, and we ended up on the Death Watch. But I was very impressed with the Dark Angels. I really liked the aggressor unit they had instead of the Desolators.
Yes,
that was one of the things that felt very important to me, because honestly, I actually when the list came out, I was like, oh, they didn't take Desolators, and I liked the aggressors, but Desolators, like you just have to, right? You have to take them. And after the tournament, I think not taking Desolators was the right choice.
Yeah,
I think they were right.
The aggressors were typically a thing where you're like, you know, we create content, we play competitively. You're like, okay, they take aggressives, interesting. Yeah. But let's see, let's practice it. Let's film it, right?
Absolutely.
And when you play them, and then your opponent, okay, what do they have? Yeah, they have this and this and this. Okay, do that to me. You're like, oh Jesus Christ, what are these guys doing? Like,
the second I saw that, I knew what it was, and I did the math, and I like, how many custodies does this kill? And I'm like, oh no, too many.
Yeah. But maybe to bring some structure in it, when was the your, let's say, the majority of team selected players, when was it completed for your team?
We completed selecting players for the team, I believe, in June.
This year?
June. Yeah. Like 2 months ago.
So 2 months ago. Oh, that was also quite late then.
Quite late.
Okay, because I would have said like we were completed by May, something in Mayish, I want to say. Yeah. But it felt like it was a bit too late also. That should have, if in a perfect world, no matter edition change or so, we would have loved to be completed by, I don't know, February or something like this at least. You know?
Yeah. I think in the future, we would like to complete it earlier. For us, it was twofold. Yeah. Obviously, the edition looming over everything does color it a little bit, where, you know, we have to think about that. But then also because it was our first year trying to figure out a real process, instead of captain picks 8 people and says, let's go play Warhammer, and everyone brings the best army they can. Yeah. Because it was a new process for us, we wanted to refine it as much as we could. And so we did cuts, and we let everyone know, like, okay, you know, when do you need to know to be able to commit to coming? Several of our coaches, or our eventual coaches who were in contention to be starters, said, I would like to come even if I don't make it and be a coach. And so they were very willing to commit and, you know, say, I'll buy my ticket to Europe. If I don't make the team, I'll coach. If I make the team, I'll play, and I'll be happy either way, and I'm just happy to be part of the team. Yeah. And luckily we had wonderful members of our team who were very willing to do that, which was fantastic, and really helped out because our coaching staff did such a great job this year. Yeah,
they really did. I see we have a new follower here, but since I put ourselves here in the into the thing, into the alert, it's a bit lackluster. But But thank you for the follow. Maybe if I put us here, more in the middle, and then I can see the alerts better, right?
Yeah, looks good to me.
Yeah. So that was one point. Regarding the coaching, I think you hit it on the nail. That's something also we will look deeper. We always had kind of a big staff, or let's say sufficient staff in terms of supporters, coaches, and all that stuff. But I think the more you bring, the better. Even as we learned it also the hard way. If you want to have, let's say, a substitute player of someone, you know, everything can happen, right? Surgery, or a bad day or anything, and if you need a replacement, it's good to have someone who can at least, you know, play 2-3 factions. I think it's very helpful, right? We're gonna look into that, and I think it totally is worth it. I think also we continue to play the Twitch game, Neurobladed. Thank you so much for 500 bits. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for the support. really motivates us. Then we have also Carondo asking, really enjoyed the game versus you guys in round 6. Great atmosphere between players and coaches alike. Yes, we can only give that back. I don't know who you mean now, John or me or Germany, but I think from a total perspective in terms of sportsmanship and how everything went at the table was amazing. I think we both agree.
Agreed.
Last year was great already, but this year was from an event. Of course you can always improve something, time-wise or whatever. It was from the vibe and from the setup, it was already amazing. Right?
Absolutely. I really felt like this year elevated everything, and the thing to note is that I think WTC generally has good sportsmanship, good intent. Last year there was a small number of cards given out. You hear a couple stories. There's one notable story about a Blood Angel model being thrown across the hallway. Luckily not ours, but this year, at least so far, I have not heard any stories about any red cards, about any yelling, any fights. I think there's a very active referee staff here who did a great job, but it's very good to see that. I thought that sportsmanship this year and the event being run itself, both were top notch to everything that I saw.
Absolutely.
Everything I saw was top notch.
Absolutely. And also, for example, I think from the past I heard, right? I mean, everything we say here today, guys, we always put the disclaimer. It's just our personal opinion, right? We don't have we don't own rights to anything or are entitled to anything. We just give our free opinion, and we always have a constructive and positive mindset. So just take as is. For example, Poland, in the very past, also like Germany, sometimes had a bit of a tough reputation. But from what I heard this year, they all said the Polish players, for example, were absolutely gentlemen, super, perfect players, still strong players, take backs here and there, and still they won it,
and still they won it.
That's for me, that's the ultimate.
Absolutely, there's no asterisk on their win.
Yeah.
There's no they won, but they got the rule wrong.
Yeah,
nothing at all. And the game that I played against Poland against Victor was phenomenal. I couldn't ask for better.
Yeah. So then we have another question. What was the process coming up with Jack's and Sean's lists? Seems like they caught a bunch of teams off guard. Should we go into this right now? I think we can do it. Yeah.
Okay.
We can do it. Yeah.
All right.
So let's start with Jack's list.
All right. So Jack's Grey Knight list. I wish we had Jack here.
Yeah, I mean, for everybody who doesn't know, basically it's 20 Terminators with characters, one ignores all modifiers, the other one is Drago to give a very short charge in for one round, and then gives a funeral pain against mortal wounds. I think it's a 4-up, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it is a 4-up funeral pain against.
And one you can also, it doesn't count for reserve, so you can do some shenanigans there for deployment.
It can come in turn 1.
It can come turn 1, so deep strike turn 1, and the other one,
including rapid ingress turn 1.
Yeah? Okay.
So if you go second, you could turn 1 rapid ingress in your opponent's turn and be like, surprise, you're getting charged turn 1.
Yeah, that's a
little scary.
Very cool. It's not only a little scary. And then there's Paladins who just have a better ballistic skill and weapon skill.
Yep.
And -1 to wound, I believe.
And they have 5 side cannons. And then you put I believe there's a brother captain in the unit who carries a 6th side cannon.
Yeah.
And gives the unit sustained hits.
Yeah.
And so just gives it one thing that can shoot other than storm bolters.
Yeah.
So we needed something that could kill a land speeder.
So basically you have these bricks with OC3. They heal they revive one model back each turn. So automatically with the apothecary. They still have the 4-up invuln save. They can do armor of contempt, all this stuff. It's not as many units, but you can do quite a lot of these units, and even though it doesn't look like it, they are super fast, they're super flexible, and they have also some support of some Imperial agents. I believe he has a Kalidos. You gave him the exaction squad. And
exactly.
Right? So how did you come up with it? But can you say something about it, or is it all to Jack?
Yeah? So all credit to Jack on the list itself. Jack was the person who is like, I think Grey Knights have more than people think. I think I could make this work. No one else believed in Grey Knights, at least internally at first.
Yeah.
No one else was like, hey Jack, we need you to play Grey Knights. No, this was all Jack, all credit to Jack. But we were looking around trying to find armies. We were considering Thousand Suns, and we weren't happy with where our lists went. And we think if we had brought Thousand Suns, the list we would have brought would not have been as good as the one that you brought or the one that England brought. And so, I'm glad we didn't bring a worse version of the same list of everyone else, because that would not have helped. But we just weren't confident with how the Thousand Suns were going and didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how to fix it. And so we wanted to explore an alternative, and we ended up doing the Grey Knights because it's so unconventional. And now we do think that with Teams Play, there's so much room to take a list that people don't get to experience much. And now obviously, once lists go live, people can try to practice it. But there is also the point where how many games can everyone on a team get into Grey Knights, because no one's going to have practice into them until lists go live.
Yeah.
And we can get practice into everything while we wait for that.
Yeah.
And so we thought that a really weird list like this that is very specific profiles, everything in this list is T5 2-up armor 4 Binvold, can pop armor of contempt, can be in cover very easily because it's infantry. So there's so many profiles that look at this and just say, I don't do anything. And there are some profiles that look at this and say, I just kill it immediately. And that obviously is not what we put it into. We did not put this into Jean's Thurkle because we thought that demo charges would be too much.
Yes.
We thought that would be just too much, and we didn't want to try to mess with that.
Yeah. Too much AP, no cover.
But then it has so many tricks, because Grey Knights can teleport up to 3 units a turn. And there are 3 units in this list.
Yeah.
So every turn, every model except for the Exaction Squad can just pick up and deep strike. Every turn. So you always have to screen this out. So you can't push for free. Yeah, there's no CP here.
Yeah.
So you have to try to screen out all the time. Terminators kill screens very quickly. It's all Stormbolters and Flamers and Weight of Fire. And then it's very hard to approach. It just is always in a weird spot. With Mists of Deimos, it's a very cute stratagem, so it's very hard to approach this list in combat.
Yep.
So if this list is always teleporting behind walls and is hard to shoot, and then different units pop the you can't shoot me from more than 12 inches away strat after they teleport every turn, then it becomes very hard to actually root this army out.
Yeah.
And if you can bunker down, the Grey Knights may not be able to beat you either. But if they don't beat you and you don't beat them, then it's a tie.
Yeah.
And so we actually really liked how this list did into a couple of meta armies. One of them actually was Eldar, where we liked how it did into Eldar quite a lot, which I don't think a lot of people expected.
Oh, okay. So this was decided to go also into Eldar?
Yes.
Eldar, and then, okay. You had at least 3 factions where you could easily bring them in, right?
Yeah. So we had a couple factions that we thought that this could do well into. We liked the matchup into Necrons. We liked the matchup into Eldar. We liked the matchup into Orcs, which is another counter pick. It generally was good into a few things, and there were very few armies that could blow it out.
Yeah.
And we just wanted to avoid that, and Jean's Thurkle was one that we knew we needed to avoid, but then we had a lot of lists in our team for Jean's Thurkle.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, our 7 opponents brought 7 Jean's Thurkle armies and did not win a game.
Yeah.
Nobody beat a USA member with Jean's Thurkle.
Oh, really?
Nope.
That's okay. So
1 draw and 6 losses.
That is the proof that your thoughts were right on this one. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the Grey Knights was a very unconventional choice, but it paid in our favor.
Yeah, absolutely. I can only. It was very interesting because in the internet before there were some opinions about it or all this stuff. I am always not only because I'm also friends with John and the team. It's not, I will be always direct and honest to them, or to you guys, but I have seen too much that I just always stay, cautious, because why would you bring a fun or a crazy concept or a YOLO concept to this tournament? Because what I always know for sure is you guys want to compete, you want to go for the win, so there has to be something to it.
Yeah, we would not bring it just for fun.
Yeah, which brings us to the next one, which I also experienced firsthand, I have to say, which is this from John and Adrian. I really have to say, from the German perspective, we as a team, and maybe also we as a nation, we kind of failed to identify this list, even though I practiced 2 times into it. I also said it in the last stream, I think. I should have, I had it in my mind, but with all the time pressure and all this stress, but it's our fault, but I take it also as my fault from a custodian's perspective, because I thought, I could maybe play into a draw or maybe a slight loss, something like that, but I was heavily mistaken. This list was for me a gem in this whole tournament. It was really, really strong. It showed like It's also the beauty of team play, or maybe also WTC. You have to bring different factions, no matter the edition. And here you see Tyranids, the list which I would just say straight up is designed to destroy Custodes, Marine profiles, can even play well into Gene Stealer. Another faction I missed.
It is very good into all three of those.
Yeah, and even more, or that was the designated targets?
Those were the three big ones. Was we wanted something that was good into Custodes, Space Marines, Gene Stealer Cult.
Yeah.
We wanted one more cover for our Gene Stealer Cult, and then into not Eldar, we thought it could score very respectfully.
Yeah.
So if we throw it into something else, we thought it'll do fine.
Yeah.
Avoid Eldar. So this is the other side of Jack, right?
Yeah.
We were like, all right, because we spent a lot of time trying to find a list that could counter both Gene Stealer Cult and Eldar. And obviously, like every single other person in the world, we didn't find it because it doesn't exist. The only answer to Eldar and Gene Stealer Cult is to play Eldar or Gene Stealer Cult. But teams, this is okay. So all of our lists were aimed at either Eldar or Gene Stealer Cult. Everyone had a leaning, except for maybe Anthony.
Yeah.
Everyone else was aiming at one of those two. And because like we know what those armies are.
Yeah.
And so this was definitely aimed at Gene Stealer Cult. And then we were going kind of through who else we could collect as well, because you never want to aim at one thing or you'll never get it. And so Eldar, Gene Stealer Cult. We also thought that this was actually decent into guard, because it's very hard to kill like the Terran effects, but we didn't ever really want to test that.
Yeah.
Because it never really made sense for us to test that.
It was kind of an outlier.
It wasn't. We didn't
right?
expect it to be common, and then when it did come up, we just didn't really ever force the issue. We're like, we've got other problems for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have to catch up some chat. Like,
Absolutely.
From Basti in the 10th mixed it all up. In fact, there was only 1 month of practicing. It's true, but we all have to admit we all had the same challenge. So
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is not a apology I can take, or we can take. For Lima, congratulations, thank you so much. 6th place for me is not a gratulation, but thank you for the support.
No, you guys still did amazing.
Ricochet, congrats Team USA, well played, super proud of you guys. Thank you, Ricochet, I support you on there. Basti, after publishing of lists, what was the most unexpected choice of army out of all top seeds? I think we are right at it, I would say. Like, you could also say
Grey Knights.
Yeah, Grey Knights, something like that, and maybe Tau at Poland, I would say.
Poland, Tau. I actually was surprised we didn't see more.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't like Tau in singles at all.
Yeah.
But Tau are very scary on paper. I did not want to play Tau.
Me okay, but it's maximum a draw.
I didn't.
I played the list.
All I knew is I didn't want to play it.
Yeah.
Because big bricks doesn't matter. Big brick, small brick, every brick in line is side to side.
Yeah.
So I was like, nope, not for John. But their Tau list, that one, and obviously the Grey Knights. For me, it was the quantity of guard. And this one's on me. I was our guard player. I was our assigned. If guard is good, let us know. And I'm like, we've got 5 things that'll beat it, no problem. Don't even worry about guard. We shouldn't take it, and if we see it, it's not a problem. I was wrong. And that always stings a bit. But with this amount of time prep we had, my consolation is that I think every single team missed something. No one was perfect.
Of course, I think we can agree on. If we had 1 more week, I think the take of lists. Drink water if you want, brother. Right? You don't have water here.
It's behind the curtain.
Oh, okay.
But I'm good for now.
Okay, but I think if we had 1 more week, the lists at first and also the selections would look significantly different for most of the countries, right?
Yeah. What I actually wish the most is that we had 1 more week with the lists.
Yes.
That was the big one for us, because for Team USA, we have to come over early because of the time change.
Yes.
If we come over right before WTC, the way that I fly to Las Vegas a day before a tournament,
Doesn't matter.
I would not be able to roll
really?
pace.
Okay.
I feel like, for Las Vegas, I just fly over 1 day early, it's easy.
Yeah.
I get to sleep in and then I play Warhammer all day.
Yeah, but the first day you arrived here, you were destroyed. Eh?
Absolutely, yes. I took 2 naps the first day, and again, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course.
I took 2 naps the first day I was in Europe. I get off the plane and I'm like, I don't know what day or time it is.
But it was the right call. 3 days. And that's also what people have to take into account. 3 days in Germany then, and then it's the same time zone as Belgium.
Yeah, the big thing is that for us, it kills a weekend, where that's the weekend before WTC, we don't practice because we're flying. And then the weekend before that, lists came out.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get, so this is an embarrassing confession, I did not play a game into a WTC list before WTC.
Yeah.
Because they came out one weekend, I had to work my day job, and I played one game of Warhammer that week into a Jeans Cult list that wasn't in specific countries, and then I flew here and I played. And I did not get any practice in between lists out and playing tournament.
But that's why they also kind of designed the faction role for you, so that you can make it with also the experience. Because there's a difference also, even though I had John here as a guest and Michaela, like in the days, I had at least one more TTS game where they had to kind of stay out my room, and then,
we didn't take it personally.
Then, okay, that's from Basti. From Toxic, with the balance pass coming in September, do you guys have predictions on which factions will stand on top? We talked about that briefly, I think today in the car. It's a very high probability that there will be some, let's say, decent changes, but Eldar might stay on top still, right?
I worry that Eldar will stay on top. I think we both share the opinion that obviously Eldar is on top right now, and we feel that there is not one problem.
Yeah.
There's not one thing that makes Eldar on top. It is top to bottom Eldar.
You cannot just say points or this mechanic or whatever.
Yeah.
You have to touch the faction or a basic core rule, and
I could give you a long list of recommendations, and I would say do all of them, not one of them.
Yeah.
We'll see what actually gets input there. Hard to predict what will actually get done, but to me it feels like Jeans Cult is very good, but a few changes could make them reasonable.
Yeah.
Doesn't need many.
No.
Just there's a couple of very clear problems.
Yeah.
Such as things can't die.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Right? If things can die, it's fine.
Make it 4+.
Make it a 4+ or 3+, or not a 1+.
But still, in Gene Stealers, you can have a game with
any
skill at some point. That's we have to admit, but obviously, what John says, right? Here we also have from Boca, good job with the Golden Boys, John. The Emperor, I think he means the Emperor, is proud of you. Looking forward to hear if you'll change something to your list after the event. Black and Painting XX, thank you very much. Just heard Australia had some issues. I don't know what you mean. I think you have to elaborate on this one. Then from Kuru, or did you hear something?
I have not heard anything about Australia.
From Kuru, congrats to Team USA for a very good second. Yes, I totally agree. Sintas, I just adjusted the music. Please let me know if the music is now not too loud. How many granites were out there? Just one?
No.
No?
Latvia also had granites.
Okay, so it's two, yeah, okay. And then from Kuru, congrats for Germany fighting for 6 after this disastrous Saturday. Yeah, we come to that in a second. Then from Sintas, do you think it was a good or bad timing for WTC this year with the new edition really fresh for all? My take on it is like, I don't think it's a good or a bad timing. It has to be kind of this time of the year because it fits well into a business life, kind of, because it's during the summer break. Also temperature, everything. I think it has to be like this, and we don't have influence on the edition change or whatever.
Unfortunately, yeah.
What's your take on that question?
I think it happened to be inconvenient. If I could pick a perfect time for WTC, ignoring all non-40k factors, I would love for it to be in like May, so that when an edition drops, I end the edition with WTC. But for every other reason, it makes sense right where it is. I would also like it to not be on Michaela's birthday. Yeah. But I still went. I brought her with me. Life is good. But
therefore, the reward is that her birthday, she gets to be in a different country.
Yeah, great reward for her.
Expensive reward, yeah? Pricey. No, that's that. So, Breaking Heads, hi, Fred and Malte. Basti, Breaking Heads, yeah, okay. The Firstborn, hi, thanks you're there. Ricochet, Poland's Tower was super poor scoring for them. Lost 5 and drew 1. But maybe that was their role also, so...
Yeah, the role in a team always, shifts and changes.
So you cannot just rate their performance just by the scoring. You have to see what maybe they took really, really bad matchups for the team. so that the others can score very well, for example.
Absolutely. That was our Death Watch, for example. Our Death Watch, if you looked at the record, the numbers just on BCP, you might say that the list underperformed. But within the team, I can tell you that our Death Watch player gave us relatively accurate matrices for certain matchups, and we said, we want you to take this for the betterment of the team. And you know what? He put on a smile and he said, I'll do everything I can.
Yeah.
Put me in, I'll take it, I don't mind. As long as it helps the team, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And within that role of the team, that was still very valuable for us, even though, sure, it's not as impressive as going 7-0.
Absolutely.
That's not always what the team needs, because if everyone on the team goes 7-0, what are we doing, right? That's not possible. That's not how it works.
That's a utopia, you know?
Yeah, we all wish.
So a couple more questions here. I thought from Basti, out of war is your daily job. It is. That's what he meant.
It is. But that's not WTC.
And I'm jealous in a good way.
Life is good, yeah.
And Sintas played Elder against my brother without Fate Dice and Wraith Knight. Still won considerably.
You know what? I wish that would be where they started.
Yeah.
But there would still be more work to do.
Harald von Horn, we're gonna do some content together soon, I hope. Welcome here. Logan, what's up, guys? Was nice to meet you, John. What a weekend.
What a weekend.
This was one of our support stuff, who looks like a Viking.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then last question before we move on: which factions were thrown under the bus immediately during boot camp? You mean Drukari, Votan, or did you discuss every faction? I think you like which factions we put out right away, right? We didn't even consider.
Armies we did not consider.
Yeah, like straight up.
Didn't even try.
Yeah.
Death Guard.
Yes.
Votan.
Yes.
Admech.
Yes.
We tried Drukari, not for very long, but we did 2 games and we were like, nope, that's not it. And then we did a 3rd game against it and we're like, nope, definitely not it. Tau we tried once or twice. I tried Sisters twice. I believe World Leaders we tried a few times, but not very many. Everything else I think got a number of games.
Okay.
Although Sisters did not get as many games as I wanted.
We tried Sisters for sure. World Eaters we didn't try, and Drukari we didn't try. It was just
to my great regret.
We have some good players, and they like not only one, like 3 or 4 set. It's really not it.
Yeah, Dark Elder, we tried the Lance spam. We bring like 34 Dark Lances. We're like, this could be a good count. And we're like, all right, what could this be a counter to? And it's like, oh, maybe it can like deep strike all over and like kill a Wraith Knight in one turn. We're like, all right, let's put it into Eldar. Immediately no. We're like, nope, this was wrong. We were incorrect. Back off the table. I'm so sorry. Hopefully GW addresses the factions we just listed, because no one deserves to be on the bottom, just as Eldar doesn't deserve to be on top.
Yeah.
But just that.
Totally makes sense. Guys, thank you for all the interactions. Really good. It's really easy. We could easily stream very long. Today we have kind of a hard cut at like 2 hours.
Sure.
So we have like 1 hour left. I would say we quickly finish up with the Tyranid list, and then we go through the journey kind of in a way, the emotions and maybe some highlights or whatever, and then maybe a quick recap what it means for us, each of us now, how we move on from here and all that stuff. And I think with some questions from you guys, we will have a very quick 1 hour with this one.
Of course.
Right. So just to finish up the list here with the Tyranids, which was really a surprise from you guys. Scars 101. Thank you very much for the follow. Obviously, what I can also say here, I will also be putting more focus on the channel for the second half of the year, and I have many people who are willing to come here on stream virtually. Then for English interviews and all this stuff, you will see also more people here. So you can look forward to that, as it will not only be German content.
Of course.
With the list, basically what I just wanted to highlight here from my perspective, first of all, they gave it to Sean, one of the best players in the world and most experienced players of the world, and one of the most flexible players, I would also say, on the world, so
for sure
that your other players can take kind of the faction they like and they perform well and feel comfortable with. So there was a good move there, and it's just a tough list, playing these where are they, Biovores.
Oh, the Biovores.
They can really lock you in because you cannot get closer than 6 inches to them, so they screen for you very well, especially on Search and Destroy. I had to play on that one. The Carnifexes with Old One Eye are just really insane. Without then you take cover away with the Pyrovores, take away the cover. They have such nice cadence, bring you to your invuln save. It's just crazy. And the two random factors are just effing, annoying, like minus one
Overwatch.
damage, 100
They never
rules,
die.
Overwatch. They do always for free. Overwatch for free with the high tyrant.
Yep, just
Do this for free. What happened?
oh no, just the Overwatch.
Yeah.
Oop, every turn. Just
Once they see you, you're kind of in a lock-in position. You move, okay, it's Overwatch, right? And
yeah. They walk up, they see you, they shoot you, and then 2 for flinching.
Yep.
You tried to move. Let's do it again.
Yeah, exactly. And then
So good.
once per game, the new tyrant does the worldwide -1 battle shock. Can be good against custodies, I would say, especially if you have inspirational exemplar with you. Not as effective, but against many other factions, I think it's very good.
Yeah, the shadows and the warp. We all joke about battle shock, right?
Yeah.
Right. Everyone does that. Okay, good. Shadows and the warp is better than it looks.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people who don't have a lot of Tyranid reps don't appreciate that Tyranids battle shock better than anyone else. And yes, it's a rule that is underutilized by 10th edition, but Tyranids do it better. There's so much to come, but at the moment it feels underwhelming. But Tyranids take it to a level that others don't.
Yeah, definitely. And also, I will make a call here. We will see much more of that in the near future. Of course, also with the codex dropping soon, anytime. But we are still kind of unfolding and exploring the 10th edition, of course. I think the WTC, us as a players, brought us further. Thank you for the follow from Belly55.
Oh, thank you, Belly.
Very much. And I think we have a high probability that by the end of the year and also end of Q1 next year, we can have a very much better 10th edition than we have now.
Absolutely.
Vesco, appreciate your following too, man. Greetings to Eastern Germany. Okay, so with that, I think we can move on to the journey itself.
The journey.
How do we do that here? We just check it
pairings?
here. Yeah, okay. I was also here. Let's see. Pairings, yes, good. I think since you're the guest, it's very good to see to get your insights and see then how do we do it here, or you can just go game. This is player by player. Okay.
Can you search USA?
This is round 7. Okay, I think I have to go to round 1.
Yep.
Like this, yeah.
Then
And then while we're loading, do we have some questions here? Did you include in your tries for sisters? It was mostly Meltersman, actually. They don't have really much more than that. 1 hour 40k, then 5 hour pub crawl. That sounds fine, Harold. From Wesco, congrats on both of you and your teams. Great event, Adrian. I will see you. Yeah, you will see me. But I don't want to play your wolves for now, because with the Desolators and stuff.
oh yeah.
Inspiring gaming, that must be bad. I love that more Deathwatch was thrown under the bus. Yeah, because he was our Deathwatch player and he got thrown under the bus many times.
It's happened to all of them apparently.
Yeah. And Sinter's currently building my Christmas Battle Force Custodies. Kind of excited to take them out. Yeah. Custodies is always, it's obviously my faction by heart, and it's your second or third faction.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that I enjoy playing a lot.
Yes. So let's see, USA first round. You had
We had Cyprus on. It's gonna be like the 15s or something.
15s.
I think so.
Yeah, let's see.
Maybe I'm wrong. Can we search it from the top? Oh, scroll down.
Italy.
Oh,
Cyprus,
we're not in round 1 because we played Cyprus round 1.
Yeah.
Are we?
Okay, let's take it easy here. This is round 1, yeah.
Yeah, search USA.
Okay, USA.
It's showing round 2 for some reason.
Yeah. Okay.
We definitely played Northern Ireland in round 2. That's so weird.
Okay. Hey, let's see. If we go here, they put it round 1 now.
Didn't explain it.
Can we maybe just check only USA? Is it possible? Like, try again. Here not. See, here's USA.
Yeah.
Yeah, you played Cyprus here, but I cannot go from here. Okay, so we have to
Try going back one more just to see.
like this.
So round 2. Yeah, let's search USA for round 2. Once it loads.
Yeah, once it loads. Let's see.
And now it shows Northern Ireland again. Now let's go back to round 1 and see if it's just maybe BCP is being funny.
Yeah.
Maybe it thinks we played Northern Ireland twice, which would have been fun.
Yeah. I bet so. USA.
And then
Now it shows nothing. Yeah, enter. There's some.
Okay, well, I can't explain that.
Obviously you haven't played them.
But we did play them. We showed up.
Let's see.
Maybe it's tape.
Let's see. Austria, Latvia.
Yeah,
there we are. Okay,
no,
we do it manually. So
there we go.
I think this is the overview that we have. So obviously you played them. That was a blowout win. The maximum is 160 points.
Yeah.
So you have 148, and of course Cyprus, they placed last, I think, in this whole event.
Unfortunately, they did, but a wonderful group of guys. This was their first time in WTC for all of them. The first time as a country. Yeah. So a very, very good group to play against. But definitely a decisive round.
Yeah, I mean, when you see that here, I don't think we have to talk about that too much. This is no disrespect at all. But for me, that is a blueprint of a very, very strong pairing of you guys. Because when first of all, everybody won. That's
a good start.
Very unlikely normally. And then hard blowout wins. Like, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 O's. That's crazy. So, but here you could already see Sean Lane into Custodes, destroyed them. Jack into Knights, interesting. And we have Chaos Space Marine into Eldari. 20-0 them.
20-0?
Yeah. Orcs into Leader Squad, that was a wanted one from you guys.
Absolutely.
Gene Stealer into Thousand Suns, also good.
Yep.
Eldari, Drukari, okay.
My first of many Space Marine games.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. And then we can quickly also go into, I think it makes more sense if we do it both at a time, right?
Absolutely. So there we go.
So here's Germany. We played UN. It was a mixed team of good players. Obviously, they don't get to see each other in person that much and so on, and they were led by a German guy, also from a good player from the south of Germany. And it was the first game still is always very important because it's similar with a single tournament. You want to have like a win to have a good feeling.
Of course.
Get used to the circumstances and everything, right?
Yep. Yeah, so good ways to start for both of us there.
Yeah, so there we were kind of happy with the pairing. For me, it was very important to admit because he has this, turning up AP, doing damage 3. He can do strategic reserves. So for me, map choice was very important. That's why I was also defender. But obviously for us, it also went very well. We only had 2 losses here. We threw our Chaos Demons under the bus. It's also for him, it was quite a new experience because usually he wins majors and GTs. And here he lost the game. So we had to kind of,
show him what it was about.
Make it, that he, getting 7 points out of the Knights was still good. So, but obviously we won this one by 114, which was decent. We aimed for actually a bit more than that because the pot phase, as we just said, since we're playing a Swiss tournament system, point system is so important for the later games on top, right? But yeah, there were no real outliers there. It was just a surprise that our Necrons, because for us, it was a bit difficult to pair the Necrons. If we had only 2 days more, we wouldn't take Necrons. We would have given him at least Astra Militarum or Tau, actually, because he's also a native Astra and Tau player.
Yeah.
So it would have helped there. But anyways, that was the first round. So we both start. I think in the pot phase, no team overall we can say had like a loss or so, but Australia with a draw. I think.
Yeah, England had
in England also. Yeah. So let's look at the second round. And in the meantime, we have Nix Fox says Lennon King. Yeah, definitely is. The Boy King. Yeah.
The Boy King.
And Peeler Raider, what do you think is the sweet spot of nations participating at WTC from a tournament point of view? We had 36 this year. 36
was awesome. It felt great having that many. As far as I'm concerned, the sweet spot is more.
Yeah.
More involvement. As long as there are more countries, more ways to grow this awesome community, I can't imagine a WTC where I said, there were too many teams.
Okay.
I can't imagine that.
I think you're right. For me, like 36, maybe this also coming from the football perspective, is perfect. But I could see also some more. But if you take even more,
let's make it 8 rounds
to make and then going to the top is it gets like
it's harder and harder.
Yeah. But you're right. So second round, you played Northern Ireland.
Absolutely.
Me myself, I do not have as much. I don't know anyone from Northern Ireland. How was the round? Maybe in a quick.
Yeah, very fun round. They're a very good group. As a matter of fact, Northern Ireland, I believe, won in a tie the best sportsmanship award this year.
Yes, they did.
So very fun group. We certainly had a great time with them. My game was into Dark Angels, so yet another round of Custodies getting shot by Vengor's long range, which is always very, very fun for me. And this was against the Dark Angel list that had the 10 Deathwing Knights, which is a unique pain in the butt.
Yeah.
It is a pain that is very painful.
Yes.
Because that is a very hard unit for Custodies to kill unless you take the big man.
Yeah.
And I did not take the big man.
Yes.
No Trajan Valoris into the Armor of Contempt, -1 damage.
Yeah, that's very, very unfunny, actually. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
So, but overall, you can also say when you have the perspective of a top seed, or let's say a seed 1 nation, in the pod phase, usually you will see it's more unlikely that you will have surprises there, because you know your opponents up front, the first 3, so you are able to prepare them pretty well.
Absolutely.
So you can really do a very good pairing process in theory and all this stuff. So it usually should just work out the way you want to have it, right? So
Absolutely.
Here you have a very strong win again. Like, for the people who don't know that team format, kind of, you have a win in a team format at least with 86 points. I think
Yep,
this is right.
86 is the right number.
That's the threshold what you have to achieve, kind of, and if you have that, then it's fine. Everything above that is just points for you for the later game. So I think we also had a question related to that. Do you feel a team can submarine in this format? I feel you can't. It looks like it at the beginning at the pod phase, but if you win your first 3 games which you planned, the chance that you play in the 4th game against a very, very tough opponent is almost 100%.
Yeah, I don't think you can submarine or should, because I don't think you can or should, because after the pods, for example, here, which is where you would try to submarine theoretically, because once you play a good team, you just try to win.
Yeah.
And you could, if you were being disrespectful,
yeah,
you could say, oh, we're going to beat everyone in our pod so easily that we'll get less points on purpose.
Yeah.
Which, one, I think is a mistake, because, trying to say that it's very arrogant. To like think that to yourself, that, oh, we'll drop points on purpose, because you could tie like that.
Yeah.
Because you're always playing against good players. Always. And so you never take anything for granted. And then also, after the pods this year, there were 5 undefeateds. It didn't matter 1 through 5. All 5 undefeateds went and played against a top caliber opponent.
Yeah.
There was no easy round as a reward.
Yeah.
You couldn't win your 3 games and then get an easy game 4. There was no easy game 4.
Not at all.
It doesn't exist.
I mean, for us, our plan, if everything worked the way we wanted to, was definitely play US this year. And of course, due to the rivalry, Poland. Like,
Of
Poland
course.
is historical wise our biggest rival, and then you in a more, I would say, friendly manner, or like this. And so we had after the pod phase in Saturday, game 4, directly our first final against you guys.
Yeah, that was tough.
So it really came.
You were on our list as well. The only team on our list we did not play against was Australia.
Yeah. So, and then because there was one question here, it looked like Australia dodged the other high placed teams. But if you look at it, so the pod phase, they had New Zealand, Portugal, Belgium, where they drew. Then they had France, tough opponent. Then they have, I see where you come from. They kind of did, because they did not play any of the top.
So so Australia finished 3rd.
Yeah.
And I believe that's actually, just to kind of be curious about it, I think the highest ranking team they played was Austria. Or did they? Yeah, Austria. So they didn't play. Yeah. So Austria was the highest ranking team that they faced.
Okay, maybe in this, I to be honest, I haven't looked at it because I was so busy with other stuff. I think I'm 100% sure they didn't plan it like that.
No,
100% sure. This can happen, but there are so many variables and factors. The way it played out for them maybe was lucky or so, but I think they had the tools and also the skill, even if they faced stronger opponents, and so they still could have gone a podium or whatever, right? But of course, it looks like they haven't played US, Poland,
England, Germany,
Sweden or so. Yeah, that could be a factor here, but yeah, that's not.
But they were the defending champs going in, so it's I can't question their talent.
No,
they
not at all.
certainly have it.
Yeah, and they had
and I know that they'll be hungry to get back as well.
For sure. And they had a tougher group as well. So
yeah, they definitely had a very difficult group.
But the bottom line, it could have been stronger, yes. But that's no matter what, that's the position, and they should take.
I would love to not play Germany, Poland, England every year.
Yeah,
maybe just 2 out of 3. But you know what? The hard rounds are the most fun. So.
And to be honest, it's the same with if you win a big tournament, or having the first place is nice. It's already cool, but having beaten the strongest players on the way, it gives you a more content, satisfying
absolutely
feeling, right?
It's the best way to do it.
Yeah. So, but to come here, okay, you know what? Oh no, we do it quickly. So this one you won, as you can also see. I find interesting Jaime here with Death Watch into Eldari. 9 points is a lot. It's a lot.
We
really
often threw Jaime to a bad matchup and asked him to perform. So, he did well in that role.
This one I find interesting. I feel like orcs can do more into Necrons, but I might be mistaken.
This specific Necron list
was a specific one.
It had all of the locusts with all the shots and the exploding 5s. And that was a little trickier.
Okay, yeah, I got
But still, 10-10.
I got you. The second game we played against Luxembourg. It was very funny because we could, in the pod phase, we could play 2 games in German. Because most of these guys also spoke German, so it was very interesting to be at the WTC and speak German.
Yep.
But this was very well prepared from our guys. Here you could also see like Arne with his 1,000 Suns was designed to do 20 O's, and he did quite a few times, so that's very good. Here we built up confidence. We really wanted to have our Necron player into your tournaments, but we knew you would never really give it to us, so that was a bit sad there. But I think, there's not much more to say. That it was lovely games. I played that game on stream against the Space Marines. Always a very, very gnarly game, but Custodians, when they have the right terrain, they can do some things.
Absolutely.
And then the last round in the so-called pod phase, we have here. I know in Xbox you're not questioning their Australian talent, but I know what you mean, and I think we kind of observed it professionally. Greetings from Schaffhausen, currently Oslo. Yeah, thank you, daughter. Greetings back to you, my friend. So round 3, we have it right up here top. You played Denmark, where we thought maybe if there's one team in your pod phase that can kind of tickle you or do something unexpected, it would be Denmark, because they have some, for example, Kili Pask, a very strong player, also internationally kind of known. How was that round for you?
It was quite fun. The Denmark team was we thought very strong. We obviously a lot of the games fell our way, but at least midway through there was definitely a sense of like, okay, this is challenging, and we had 2 great rounds before this, but Denmark was certainly that first round where we're like, all right, this is, like an hour in, we're like, okay, this is still very much in question.
Yeah.
But I wonderful game there. I actually played this on the War Games live stream, because funny enough, at this point in the tournament, this was Swiss, because we were the 1 and they were the 2 at that time, and we just happened to be in the same pod.
Okay,
so we played the 1 versus 2 game, I think, 4 rounds in a row.
Oh, okay.
I think rounds 3, 4, 5, 6 were all USA in the 1 versus 2.
Ah, very nice. Okay.
Maybe not 6, maybe just 3 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, you see no surprises here. Turners into Death Watch is a very good matchup. Jackster, I want to say here, Jack Halfster with Grayners into Custodes. He did what I would have also expected a draw.
Yep, that is exactly what we expected.
Lucas, the youngest player in your team, against Necrons, pretty well win. Nice. Withstanding the pressure, very nice. Killy won here against Eric.
But 11-9 for their Eldari Indigenes, they're called. It always is somewhere there.
This is also a points win with Jaime against Thousands. I don't know the list out of my head, but I expect they have a good Thousand Suns list. Oh, you 20-0'd someone, Jesus.
I did.
Nice. Chaos Space Marines. I think, I don't know, but...
It was 12 Obliterators, Abaddon, and Forge.
Ah, okay, I like that list too. Yep. And then Eldari do what Eldar do. And this is also, I think, planned. Anthony with his listen to Knights is just annihilated.
Very planned.
So that was well done there. So this was our toughest game because Switzerland, they prepare always well for us. They're very hungry. They're very emerging. So it was very important to have a good pairing here. I got the mirror here. So, and also the mission. So with my list, with my MSU style, I can kind of dance around this, and I can attack also the blobs from different angles and can do some things right there. I can also use rapid ingress against these blobs quite efficiently, because you have to decide you want to stay compact or you string out. Either way is fine for me. It just changes my overall meta strategy.
Of course.
So, this was a very good game though. Chaos Notes here. Yeah, our Demons player was thrown under the bus again. And is there any other surprises here? Yeah, our Necron against their Necrons, like 91.
Oh, that's very
crazy.
good.
1000 Suns just do what 1000 Suns do. I think, yeah, that one went much better for us than expected. We aimed for a win, but our goal was just go over 100.
Yeah.
But here 112 was
Quite a good number.
Okay, yeah. So we have here Nix Fox. Who are you, Ramses? What did you play? Custodes for Germany. Exactly. I am
Custodes for
Ramses.
Germany, Custodes for USA.
Yes.
Oh, I'm Ramses.
Yeah, you are Ramses.
I'm Ramses.
Yeah. I'm John and Adrian. Yeah, no, yeah, and obviously since you're here, so you seem to be like an international supporter or new. I'm from Kings of the Hill here. We are one, I would say, when it comes to competitive play, as of now, the biggest brand kind of in Germany, and we're heavily now working and investing to make it grow. Mostly German content, but now especially Twitch. I for our channel, we use it for also English outliers. So stay tuned. You will see more from us here.
Excellent.
With that, we say now round 4.
All right. Well, do you want to do USA or Germany first?
Of course, I talked so much. It's up to you. We go.
Let's do Germany first this time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Germany first.
So let's see. So round 4, as we just mentioned, we knew. When you finish the pot phase, you can see the standings and the current standings, and you know already who you're gonna face.
Absolutely.
In the 4th game. And obviously when you do also the preparing, when you're done with the pot phase before the tournament, you also do pairing for let's say we did for the top dogs, right? USA, England, Poland. So we had that kind of also ready. And as you see here, we drew this one by 1 point, you could say. I can also say it could have easily be a much tighter draw, or maybe also it could have gone both ways, because there were some gnarly nail biters there. But whatever you say, it is everything is well deserved. So there's no like what do I say that, like, not
it was very
appreciating or something like that. Right?
Yeah, it was a very, very tight round, very good, very impressive, certainly, I think, from both sides. We knew this would be a battle. Yeah. And going in, we thought it was inevitable that we would play Germany. We just wondered when. Yeah. Now, round 4, fresh out the gates, bright and early. Fair enough. It's got to happen eventually. Let's do it now. But we knew it was coming. Yeah. I mean, there was not a doubt in our mind that our teams would play at some point.
It was just a question of which round, actually. So, from the pairing side, I can only say a few things, because we have for pairing someone who's dedicated to this, which is David, mostly, and he's very experienced. He won the WTC, I think, minimum 2 times, and he's just, sometimes you have people who have like a talent or a hang to it. Like, it's
absolutely.
I can do pairings. I understand how it works, right? But that does not mean at all I'm good at it, or whatever. Of course, it's you guys cannot imagine how much of an encounter of a game the pairing makes it. It's so important. Everything. It's like, I think 50% to the, or even more to the game,
it's
right?
Got to be. It's close to 50%. I would say, if I did pick a number, I'd say 40. But it is very important to the round, and much more than most people would expect. Yeah. Especially most people who maybe don't get as much teams experience, because it is relatively difficult, at least for us Americans, to get a quantity of teams experience unless you are very dedicated to finding it. Yeah.
So here I can say, as I think I mentioned it before, we underestimated the tournaments list. I lost, for example, 7-7. I only got 3 points, and my prediction was to get at least 4 to 5 points, and if I'm somehow lucky or so, even more. But in hindsight, this was a misrating, or I just didn't see it. In the next one, this one we liked, but it was planned to be a 20-0. Yep. And due to some things, some crazy stuff that Jaime did there, like
an infiltrator.
I don't know, like 5.
Tell them.
From all what I know, what I get together is there was like a very decisive last turn. Magnus had like 5 wounds left, 6 wounds left ish.
7.
He could still blank and moons and all this stuff. And Jaime has basically, I think, 5 infiltrators and a librarian, something like that.
Yeah.
So first of all, he uses the grenade stratagem.
That's what I would do too.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. But I think he did like, I don't know how many, like not
5 or 6.
Yeah, not like 3 mortal wounds.
No, not at.
Like 5 mortal wounds right there. So that was that. So 2 wounds left. And then you have only the plinking shots from the bolters. And then they're already in 2 up saves for Magnus, right? He already fails 2 there. He has to blank 1, CP 1, all this stuff. And end of the game, they kill him. This can happen, but of course, if it doesn't happen, Arne makes like an 18-2 or maybe even more. I'm not sure as of now, but what I just want to say is we had more points planned for this matchup.
Absolutely.
That wouldn't have changed this outcome at this point.
We respected Arne's list a lot. We did not expect Jaime to win this game.
Yeah.
We asked Jaime to do what he could and
Yeah.
score the points he could. He warned us that a 20-0 was possible, but that he would try to play for more.
Yeah.
And so we knew that this would be in your favor. We accepted it because we didn't feel like our team paired well into Thousand Suns. And so for Thousand Suns, we usually absorbed a loss.
Yeah.
We just picked someone, fed it, tried to make it up later.
Yeah.
We did not try to hard counter Thousand Suns very often.
Yeah, exactly. So the next one here with the Chaos Knights and Gene Stealer codes here, that was our only gamble that we kind of made.
Yeah.
If we go first here, we have a very good chance to score and win this game, but we did not.
Yeah. That was not a matchup we wanted.
Yeah.
There's the way the scrum fell out. We knew Chaos Knights was volatile for Gene Circle.
Yeah.
We didn't want it, but at the end of the day, we trusted our guy to do everything he could.
And then that was one of these guys. Eric, for me, is like in a positive perspective, the stereotype American.
Yeah, he's a fun guy.
He won the roll-up, and then he was something like, "Yeah, America," something like that. You could hear it all the time. I was like, "Oh no, I think he got first turn." Then we have the next one here, Orcs from Lucas against Florian, our Gene Stealer code. This also, we underestimated this one. He thought he could definitely draw it and maybe win it, but that was, I think, or from us also learning that was a misconception. Is it the right word? Misconception?
Yeah, misconception.
Or a wrong estimate. Then you drew Bell here with Custodes. I think that's a win for you. Is it?
Yes, I had that lower in my matrix. That was a game that we took as a sacrifice to make other things work, we thought. But I also knew I expected to lose. I expected to lose close. I knew I had upside. Funny enough, this was, at least from my perspective, the one where it was the other way, where everything kept going wrong, and I actually, going in, I thought I would lose, and then on turn 2 or 3, I told my coaches I would win. But then, you know, it's at some point when he hands you 12 saves, and you're like, AP0, right? And he's like, yeah, it's just AP0. I'm like, okay, well, here you go, 2 dead guard. It's like, oh, no. He had a las cannon and a hunter killer missile, kill 3 shield guard with -1 damage.
Oh, wow.
It was 2 shots, but they were sustained hits. And I was -1 damage.
Wow, okay.
And they're 4 wounds each, but they all died. I was like, So,
but am I correct that there was also something that worked in your favor so that it drew?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Or...
The working in my favor was mostly that at least from my perspective, I'm sure, I don't remember any of the times I rolled well. I'm sure Bell remembers all of them. But a wonderful game, and you could actually go back and watch that.
Yeah, on stream, yeah. That was a target priority if you want to check it out. That game was on stream. Obviously, there were some lists that USA didn't want to have on stream, which is totally fine because there's tactical reasons behind it.
Yes.
So we respect that. And John is also experienced playing on stream due to his day job. So that was an easy one. So guys, if you want to check it out on target priority at round 4, you can see the whole game and watch it again. Then we have Jack against Valentin with his Necrons. I think that's points for us. I think Jack was...
Jack expected more.
But that's something we kind of... this falls in line.
Yep.
Also, the next one, Anthony against Grisha. I think Anthony thought he can get more on this one.
That was one where we were wrong. We thought this favored Chaos Space Marines by a good margin.
Yeah.
And we accepted other matchups to get that. So that... game happening was why I played Deathwatch, so that we could get that.
Yeah.
So us getting 18 points out of those 2 games was a mistake or misunderstanding, whatever, it could be a misconception from us in pairings. We wanted those 2 games because we thought that would break higher than 18. We thought I would get some and Anthony would get a lot, and the way it worked out didn't happen, which is unfortunate. And at least from where we initially thought the game would go, that made the round closer than we wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And the last one, that was kind of our secret weapon, kind of.
Yeah.
We also tried that in real life, in reality, in our pod phase, to use Eldar as a counter to Eldar, because of the ability of our player and also the way the list was designed. Only from what I remember now, it could have happened, but I think he saved pretty well on his something like a ridiculous amount of saves for us. But I'm not sure right here.
I'm not sure either, but
You didn't talk to Matt about that yet?
I didn't hear about that specific one. He played a couple Eldar mirrors.
Okay, so
I don't know about this one, but all I know is that Matt is an Eldar faction specialist.
Yes,
he
for sure.
only takes Eldar to tournaments. Now he plays other armies, but Eldar is his tournament army, and it's his main. And so we had him practice the mirror many times, because we knew it was coming.
Same with our Matthias.
So we ran his Eldar into about every Eldar we could think of.
Did you expect a draw here then?
About. We figured, we assumed he would get an 8 or a 12, just somewhere in that ballpark, there. And it was the middle.
Okay, yeah. I mean, then it sounds like in the end it was fair. But we expected minimum a 12-8 here, maybe if we get more, then it would be very nice. But as you can see, even if the things go for us in all these things, I think we still end up drawish anyways.
Yeah, we knew this round would be tight and close. If it was a draw, we wouldn't have been shocked. We thought we had the potential to win it. After pairings, we felt fairly good, but I think both sides missed 1 or 2 games.
Yeah.
And of course, going into pairings, we only know the one that you missed. We don't know the ones that we missed.
Yeah.
So we're like, aha, we got the ones we wanted, and all the ones we wanted, we thought were good.
Nice.
So we'll see.
Liri VL, thank you so much for following.
Thank you.
And Steezy, 9 months for the sub here from Amazon Prime. Thank you so much for that one. Much appreciated. And Juicy Felix, thank you to see you here. We are very well. We are super tired, but for me, so far, the stream makes me more awake, to be honest.
Absolutely.
It really helps. The tiredness will come after this again. But overall, I would say it's a very good round. I think we can take the result. We can easily draw you guys. But from a, let's say, the structured approach, from how the preparation of this and this year, I think if we win against you guys this year, might have been possible, but it was a bit unrealistic, maybe I would say in hindsight. Because of the misperception of the tournaments list, for example, and also maybe the grain nuts or whatever. There were some things that we didn't see and we should have seen. And then that combined also with our list selection, I think there was much more room of improvement this year for us, in this case. But yeah, this was the 4th round. So we went out this year with a loss. So next year we try again. And now we come to round 5. Round 5. Clearly too few moves on WTC, at least one on the War Masters. That's true, but you should talk about Hyman from USA about that. He's talking about it all the time, right? So
he does love his space wolves.
Yes,
he does. I'm sure he'll be back to them soon.
Also, his list name was could have been moves, right?
Yep.
So yeah. On your round 5, you got the next banger.
Yep. There's no breaks for no breaks.
I mean, I think it's also a good example. You see in the pot phase, you see quite high wins above 100 and stuff like that. And now all of a sudden the games get super close. There's not much, points to spare. You see almost the tightest draw you can get, 79-81 USA against Poland, the now reigning champion. So if you see here from the pairing process, how did you approach it, and how did you see pairing now?
We actually felt very, very strongly positive about the pairings.
Yeah.
We thought that the pairings went quite well, and sure enough, we actually won 5 of the games here. But unfortunately, a couple of our losses went further than we thought. Was what killed us, was that we thought that we could win a lot of the games that were put down. We know that the Polish players are excellent caliber, so when they're down, they're not out. So you can beat these players, but it's very hard to blow them out.
Yeah.
When you're up on them, they claw, they fight, they scrape, they get every point they can. So getting those margins is difficult. We felt very positive after pairings. We thought after pairings that we had a real shot to win. We knew going in, we bluntly, when lists went live and we looked at everyone, excluding ourselves, because of course everyone's confident in their own lists. Excluding ourselves, we thought Poland had the best lists. We thought, and we know Poland is always bringing good players. That's never in question. We were most impressed by their list once everything went live. So after pairings that we thought that we got a lot of what we wanted. Unfortunately, a couple games didn't go the way that we expected. And the ones that went our way were close, and we got more of them to go our way, but the ones that went their way, some of them were big, and that closed the margins, because when they got wins, they really got strong wins. And when we got wins, they battled, they wouldn't give up, they still scored points.
Yeah.
And that got them in the draw, and the high side of the draw. But you know, my game there was into Custodes, very hard fought, and unfortunately I made a mistake.
Yeah.
And whenever you make a mistake, you get punished for it. And I thought that I could have gotten a lot more points than I did. I did win the mirror match, but I made one very critical mistake that of course snowballs into
24 points, was it?
About 20 something points. 15-5 is what I thought I could have gotten if I had moved a model 1 inch.
Yeah, I think it's also very interesting to see that even a John Lennon can do mistakes, right? You're still a human being.
I absolutely am. I'm just as human as the next. Flesh and blood, no robot here.
Yeah, I
I'll
mean,
leave that to Richard.
to make that story short, right? It was about 2 Alaris Terminators,
Yes.
which he had kind of screened out his backfield for, and then he just shoots them randomly, right?
They were in line of sight.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm just
Didn't expect to kills one. Did he choose to go for the end one save?
I expected to kill both.
Oh, really? Ah, okay.
They were in the open. I shot them with every shield guard, and they didn't have cover.
Yeah.
So I was like, I hand him like, 10 3-up saves, and then I do it again. I hand him like 20 3-up saves, and he fails 3, and there's 1 guy left. But I screened out my deployment zone so that the 2 Alaris couldn't fit anywhere.
I see.
But I didn't screen it out so that 1 Alaris could fit anywhere. And that's my mistake. I was rushing a little bit, and I should have been more thorough. And for me, that's be thorough, say no models can fit, but we talk intent, and I say, hey, I'm going to screen so that 2 Alaris can't fit here.
Yeah.
And then I kill one, and suddenly they can fit. And I'm like, I pre-measured, oh, that's my fault. That's not your fault, that's my fault.
Yeah.
And 1 Alaris makes deep strikes, makes the 9-inch charge, takes the objective, survives, kills the next unit to come in, and just, oh no.
I mean, from him in the end, you can say legend move, but
It was a legend move.
but it was avoidable from
He
John.
would not quit. He
Yeah.
was a wonderful player, and he would not quit.
Yeah. Asti, thank you so much. Have a good night. He also says thanks for the content and a good trip back to US.
Thank you.
To the American team, you are welcome in Germany at any time. Okay, yeah. See
I
you.
would love to be back.
Yes. So that was one there just for you in a kind of extract what happened, for example, in a game like that. So that was very interesting there. Yeah, so we have Anthony into the Dark Angels, 18-2. That's pretty steep. Was it expected to go like that? Or
We thought it would be close. We thought we could win.
closer than this one?
We definitely thought closer than that. We thought that we could win that game. We thought we could lose that game. But we figured there's no indirect here. It's the Dark Angel list hits hard.
Yeah.
And it's very tough, but Chaos Space Marines are good at killing tough things, right? They do. We thought we had a solid chance into it. Unfortunately, doesn't always fall your way.
Yeah.
I have not gotten the full breakdown on this game. I know some things happened that Anthony didn't expect. At least some story about a Land Raider that failed less saves than he wanted. We'll leave it at that. I don't know if it was an average number or I don't know. But that game definitely, that score did not represent what we expected.
Yeah, gotcha. And we have Jaime into Tau. So that's
about.
That's about?
It's
Okay.
about, yeah.
Jack into the Necrons, 11-9.
Jack had played Necrons twice before. He had gotten I think like an 11 and like a 13 or 14. So we knew it would be in between. We thought it would be between an 11 and 15. We thought it'd be the higher side. I think Jack failed a charge that he wanted to make. But every charge is one we want to make.
Yeah.
So sometimes it just happens.
Don't tell me about it.
I know.
Failed 3-6-inch charges in a row.
It's pain.
But yeah, okay. But that's about.
That was about, yeah.
I think that the 16-4 for Sean is also what you can expect, right?
About, yeah. For Genius they're called, it's 14-16 for the Tyranids.
Interesting. They built the Elder Mirror 2.
We took it again, and this time we were wrong.
Yeah. Like, did Matt talked about it? Was it deserved? Was it just played well? Was the list better, or what was it like?
I unfortunately do not know. I can only assume that Duda played it very well because, of course,
obviously,
it's Duda. He's a phenomenal player. But also, Adrian, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
When people talk to me about the Eldar Mirror, I don't actually hear what they say.
Yeah, me too.
I just
only when I play it on myself, you know.
if I play it myself, sure, but every time I trust my other player and to do the best he can, and we work from there.
Of course. But I want to see the list actually. It's Duda, right?
Yeah, maybe search
Because he has some nice.
There we go.
Yeah, here, right?
Yep.
Oh, no, yeah, he viewed the list because there were some nice texts that we saw when we practiced
Yeah,
against.
I remember Fuegan. Yeah.
Yeah, so Fuegan obviously is super nice because he also gives you 2-up stand-up after he dies.
Yep, but he still counts as dying for the incarn.
Yes.
So he dies and stands up. He doesn't stay alive.
That's a very good
It's
tech
very
there.
very good for the incarn because he could die twice in one spot.
Yeah. About the income we don't have to talk, and the other stuff we don't have to talk. This one we don't have to talk about. This one Night Spinner is a must. Shadow Specters, of course. Warp Spiders, amazing for mission.
Yeah.
And then 10 Raid Guard, I think also. Yeah, this is just like a normal list, but you have Wigan there.
Yep. It's a very good, solid Eldar list. Yeah, I don't know specifically what the breaks were in this game, what the breakpoints were. I don't know if it was a first turn problem, a dice problem, a getting outplayed problem. I couldn't tell you, but obviously Poland came ahead on that one, and we. Shuckman actually told us before the game that he thought he was more likely to lose this Eldar mirror than win it.
Yeah.
But it's always flippy, but we didn't think the margins would be as large as they were.
No, obviously. I mean, guys, you also have to see, this is Monday right after the event.
Yeah.
We just want to give you something because John and I here, we're having a great time. Just want to give you some entertainment here because we know you followed us and support us from afar, and we just want to give something back. Also, Kuro is going now. Have a good come back home and have a good one. No worries there. Then we have John, you against Custodes. You talked about that a bit.
Yep.
Was it your expectation?
That was below my expectation.
Okay, nice.
Yep. I thought my list was better in the mirror. I was very confident my Custodes list in the mirror. Basically, it's because I had more bricks than him.
He has one Blade Champion, Captain Trajan.
Yep.
One brick, one small. No, this is another. No, this is
Just
small
a
guy.
small, yeah.
But also with a shield, interesting. Then double allowers and 2 wardens. Yeah, okay. You have 2 wardens and 2 bricks, 2 of Custodian Guard, and he has some more play stuff.
Yep. And
the exaction.
Yeah, and I was able to dictate combat with my having the extra brick. I was able to kind of bully his board control, and so I scored much higher on primary than him.
But you were both playing tactical, right?
We both played tactical.
And could he play the secondary missions much better than you, or was it an issue?
He did play them a little better than me, but most of that came from the Dolores that I led into my deployments.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Most of it was that. I feel if I had maybe fixed my screens a little tighter, I think then that the secondaries, even the primaries, vary in my favor. Instead, it let him get quite a few points.
So in the end of the day, 24 points more in the game, kind of, let's say 20 points ish.
Yeah.
Then we look at it 13-7 or something like that.
15-5 is what if he had failed that I had charged or
That's a
had
big
screened. It was 15-5.
Probix.
But you know what? When you have a charge like that, you use a CP reroll.
Of course.
He knew his shot. He made every decision right from there.
Yeah. So and that's top level play.
Absolutely.
You have to say.
You would expect nothing.
And
less.
before that, you also said right, you had a intention. The intent was there, and everything was clean. He just just made use of used the situation how it was. It was all good, right?
Yep.
So,
yeah, it was very clean. It was very much my mistake, not a take advantage moment. It was very much my mistake. He played it as perfectly as you could ask. Because honestly, despite me lamenting the result in a round where we wanted every point we could get, genuinely it was one of the best games of the weekend for me.
Yeah, sure. So kudos to Victor. Well deserved, well played. And Toby X, thank you for the follow right there. Thank you very much. We like to grow Twitch as well. Then we have Eric playing into Jakub, Skark. Skark's a legend for Poland.
Absolutely.
One of the oldest players, but that doesn't mean anything. From what I heard, he even paused for the edition because he didn't like the 10th edition. He played Age of Sigmar. Then at some point he was like, okay, I'll come back maybe then with Astra Militarum. And he built his Astra Militarum very well that it even goes better into Gene Stealer, which he got here, right?
Yep.
Also, he has a Wolverine, and then he has Death Book of Greek. They're a bit tougher. Hellhounds, and of course, all the indirect stuff, guys. And then he has red attachés for the no deep strike person, and then Scout Sentinels, of course, too. ignore in the modifiers for indirect shooting. So very good list, strong player. Your result right here is a 8-12. Was it expected or
close to? We thought this was anywhere from the 8 to the 12. We midway through the round, we thought we would get the higher end of that, but of course, Skark is Skark. You know, he will always play well. He will never quit. You know, we take a bit of pride that Skark was the highest finishing player of the weekend, and that was his lowest score by a large margin.
Okay.
So we were happy that we could blunt him because we know a reputation that Skark is very good.
Skark is a shark.
Skark is a shark, and we thought that Eric with Gene Circle was a good person to blunt that and maybe win.
Yeah.
And of course, couldn't quite seal the deal, but we were happy with anything from an 8 to a 12. For that we were happy.
Yeah, very nice. And Luke, I think this is a great performance against Pumba.
Yep.
One of the most famous players, also very strong.
We thought that this was the match we wanted.
Okay.
So
expected a 16?
We didn't expect a 16. We expected a 13 or 14.
Okay, so
but
kudos to Lucas.
Lucas played it very well.
Nice.
And unfortunately, actually, this will come up in a story in a second. This was the point where they picked our stream games and they wouldn't let us pick our stream games. So this was the one where they said, nope, this is the game that's going on stream. We're not gonna let you refuse things anymore.
Yeah.
We did not. This will come up in a little bit because we have an Orcs into T-Suns game that comes up later.
Okay.
But this one we wanted, we got it, and Lucas performed very well.
He performed very well, and okay, we'll come to that later. Okay, I got you. Yeah, we played Sweden that one, so we came from that loss. I have to admit myself, I was very sad after the US thing. I think we're similar into that. Like, I'm not a guy who's like crying a lot, only maybe in animes when the hero dies or something like that.
Of course.
But that one, from a sportsman perspective, I was like, it really, because I wanted to perform so well for Germany and all the stuff, it really stung. But that has nothing to do with guys. The games were great, but we were kind of disappointed, of course. And then you have to get back up from this one. And we went into Sweden, which we beat comfortably last year, so we were kind of confident. But yeah, see you later, Sintas. Thank you very much for joining. So we thought we were quite well on these pairings, but in this one, I don't know, when you, in German we say, when you have shit on your shoe, you have shit on your shoe, you know, like when you're walking into a dog poop, it sticks kind of, you know, like, and here there were some things that really threw us off, like, again, we tried it again with the Gene Stealer
again? Oh no.
And it didn't work.
Oh no.
Necrons overperformed, which is obviously strong from Valentin.
Yeah, very good from him. I would have expected that game to favor the Custodes.
Yeah, it usually does. But we can also say, it also comes in a bit when we do a recap. Obviously, this is very good from Valentin and strong performance, but when they perform well, it can also mean that, you know, in terms of matches for the rest of the team, it's not, you know, there's a high likelihood that the other matchups are a bit tougher, you know.
Of course.
But that's with the overall selections of Necrons, right? What we talk about later. Yeah, Chaos Demons into Chaos Knights is expected. This one was not expected at all. I think Arne said he had a kind of a macro misdecision here. If he played it again, he would score and he would play totally differently. And the mission was also not good for this matchup because I think we had the 2 markers only, so no middle marker.
Correct, that was this mission.
So we had
that one throws you.
Yeah.
It's a very different dynamic, different than what people expect.
I played into Gene Stealer Call, so this one I was on the verge to do a 13-7 here. But then I failed 3 6-inch charges. That was very bad actually, because I got to start first, which was good already.
Yep.
If I didn't start first, this is my expectation, kind of, the 8
yeah,
12.
Of course.
But when I go first and I can push for the marker and keep him scoring only 5 on primaries, it's very good. So that was a bit unfortunate there. Eldari is okay. We hope for more, but this is okay. But we hope for a little bit more. And this here we expected a win. In this one, this Imperial Knight player starts the game. He has only 2 Crusaders, right? And then 2, 3 small ones with Melters and the other Helverines. In his first shooting phase, he kills 8 Chaos Knights.
8?
Yeah, 8. I don't know how that...
How did Dominic get 8 points?
I don't know. Yeah.
If I lost 8 Chaos Knights on turn 1, I would score 0 points.
I've never, like... But yeah.
That's an unfortunate turn 1, of course, but that is, despite that, actually kind of impressive from Dominic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, if I had 8 points. If I lost 8 Chaos Knights turn 1, I...
6 to 8, something like that. It was
Too many, more than should have.
2-3 is okay, it happens, but
8.
Anyhow, but that's just a quick extract. Again, this is no excuse for anything. This is the Saturday. Then we come to the last day.
The Sunday.
Now.
And going into Sunday, we were in first place. We had the tiebreakers against tiebreakers over Poland.
So now, as you can see in the US journey, it's only now from here on out.
It's not easy.
Crazy. So now England, another country who wants to retaliate from last year. So they really brought in the hours, the preparation, all the stuff, the list. It's a draw to the lesser side for the US. You can see here. For me, that's a surprise. If we look at the matchups here, we have Jack playing into Tyranids. They have a mass concept Tyranids. You know what?
It was about 5 of the monsters and then about 60 of the gaunts.
Yeah.
So it's about the gaunts, the gargoyles, the Hormagaunts, the whole thing. And then some zoanthropes. So it was a very even balance of Tyranids. That score close to what we expected.
Yeah, I would. From outside, I would expect that too.
Yep.
Anthony with his Chaos Space Marines into Gene Stealer Cold.
Anthony overperformed. He did very well there.
I think so. Yeah,
he did very well there. Yep. We were quite happy with his result.
And Mike Porter is not. It's also.
Yeah, Mike Porter is never an easy opponent as well.
Of course. You played into Eldari. That's being thrown under the bus. My!
So this was funny enough. This was a match.
Thing. Money double Wraith Knight, right?
Double Wraith Knight and 10 Wraith Guard.
Yeah. Oh my. Okay. Yeah. So now you can go
So
ahead.
this was a match where we thought that if I got to pick any table I wanted, I would win.
Yeah.
However, this matchup did not happen early in the cycle.
No.
And the tables I wanted were gone.
Yeah.
So I was very happy that I could hold to a 7 because this was a game where, unfortunately, I've leaned too heavily on picking tactical and I chose tactical again. And you know how you can just draw all the wrong cards? This was the first game where I thought I just drew the worst card every possible turn. Every possible turn was the worst card I could think of, and I held on. I scored the 50 on primary and a 13 on secondaries or something along those lines, and I was very happy that I held it to a 7 because I knew that as soon as I saw the table, I talked to the coaches. I'm like, all right, with where we are right now, these are my table choices. I will not win on any of these.
Yeah.
I will not win this game.
Peeler says, I think you said 8 after turn 2 or so. It was really, really bad. You said it on stream, but they also say it's even a strong performance from you.
Yeah, I got you.
Despite of all that things.
I did everything I could to hold points, and I killed 4 Rangers in that game.
Yeah.
And I did not make him use a wound marker.
Yeah.
Because I did not do a damage point to anything besides the 4 Rangers.
But that's how Custodes kind of play into Eldar currently, right? I mean, and the other side is the Eldar player has Warp Spiders, Shadow Spectres, whatever. Phantasm, he says, cleanse, I go to this marker, I jump there, I do it. I have Investigate Signals, I jump 24 inches to this corner, and this corner, I do it, you know? So it's very...
it's very tricky.
The game against England was on stream?
The game against England on stream was Jack versus Matt, but it was the War Games live stream, so he had a camera up high, so after he could get kind of a zoom in on some tables, but you couldn't see everything happening.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, but the main focus game was the Grey Knights and the Tyranids in this round.
Okay, gotcha. And we have Jaime into Space Marines.
Chaos Space Marines, yeah.
Chaos Space Marines, sorry. That was unexpected, maybe?
That was unexpected. We did not have a high expectation for the game. We thought he could win. We thought he could lose. We did not think that he would score 3. Unfortunately, this is another one where I haven't gotten the full breakdown. Because this game... obviously it was unfortunate that happened, but after this game we just said, you know what, let's focus on Sweden. Yeah, because we knew we had one round after this round, so we didn't break down what happened. We broke down what was ahead of us and focused on that. So I never recapped the games from this round with my teammates yet. We didn't have the
so it's a jam here for you guys, you know. It's before he even broke down now with his team, we give you some of our
as quick as we can.
Yeah, of course. And then also Nick's Fox says the Jack versus Matt game was really good. Secret communication, do recommend it. So check it out, guys. Was it on War Games Live?
It was War Games Live on YouTube.
Please check it out.
A wonderful channel.
This guy is doing a great job. For everybody who does not know, he's just living off it, going around the world, streaming games with his mobile equipment. It's just amazing. Right?
It's amazing, yeah.
We have Eric with GC into us, Astra Militarum, kind of expected, is about, right?
About, yeah. 8 to 12.
Tyranids into Nassim, also emerging player. I think you wanted a bit more here.
We wanted a bit more. So I think Nassim did a good job holding down the fort.
Yeah.
We expected a couple more points out of that, but the win, it was this right direction.
Yeah.
We thought 15-16, we got 13. That's okay. That happens.
Yeah. Lucas here against Thousand Suns. You wanted more here too, right?
Well, after Poland, where we got the 16-4, apparently Vic went straight to the hotel
And watched
the game.
Jeez.
And he watched the whole game, made a game plan, and knew that if he offered it to us, that we would take it, and we did. And so they saw something. I couldn't tell you what it was.
Yeah.
They watched Lucas play into Poland and get a 16-4 into Thousand Suns. And Vic, a phenomenal player, and of course, saw something that made him tell his coaches, that won't happen again to me. I don't know what it was. I don't know what happened, but credit to Vic for putting in the homework, figuring out whatever it was, whatever the difference was. And that was a trap and pairings we fell into. We thought that would go the other way. We didn't think 16-4, but we thought 12-13 was the floor, and there's upside. And we did not get the upside on that one.
Yeah. Thank you, Grumpy Monk, for the follow. Much appreciated. I think, that's all fair, I would say.
Yep.
To be also fair, it can also happen if you bring enough stuff. You would just, England could easily also say, if they didn't have that option, to say, you know what, even though you're not a Thousand Suns player, dear coach from England, we could say to a coach, please go to this and watch the game, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Okay, watch the game, and even though you don't know Thousand Suns, just tell me kind of how did he win, were the decisive moments in that game, and then give me that intel. That could be also that could be also an option if you bring enough stuff to do that, right? This kind of spying is also part of the WTC. And then we have Matt here, 20-0 in Custodes. I think that's
Matt chose the table.
Yeah.
And with that, the list, which wasn't a bad Custodies list, but that type of Custodies with tanks and no guard into our other table choice, that game was close to what we expected. We put it down as a very positive win. You never predict a 20.
To be honest, this is also no front or whatever, but this was the Custodies list I disliked the most, to be honest.
It was the one that I thought I definitely, it was the one I didn't understand. It was the one I looked at and said, we're not agreeing on what Custodies are.
Yes.
If they take that and I take this, we do not see eye to eye on the faction.
And where I would feel like this is not maybe played by a native, so to say, Custodes player, maybe, right? So, kind of.
That's actually funny you say that. When I saw the list, and no disrespect to anyone, I said, this looks like a Custodies list written by a Custodies opponent.
Yeah, exactly.
This looked like what a non-Custodies player is scared of, not a Custodies list.
Yeah, sure. So we go quickly to Germany because we wanna keep the tension. But where are we here? Was it wrong? Or no, it must be
maybe you search it. It might be faster.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Canada. Oh, we scroll back past it.
Oh yeah, Canada. Yeah, so Canada. Canada was nice playing against Gary and his guys, his boys. It was also interesting. You kind of also sparred with them a bit, right?
Yep, we did do a practice round with Canada about a week or two before list lock.
Yeah.
And we definitely talked a little bit about the armies we were each taking as part of that scrum.
Yeah, so for us it was really tough Saturday. So we came in kind of it was a mix of angriness and retaliation, all this stuff. So we really wanted to win this one. It was very important. And they had some lists from you guys, for example, where we come to later. So here we have our best player, Matthias with the Dari Death Watch. Obviously, we wanted to have a 20-0 here, but 17 plus was
it's a good
thing here. Then we have Demons here. Yeah, that he was thrown under the bus. We hope for 1 or 2 points more, but it's just a brutal matchup.
Yeah, we know it's not good.
Yeah. Here, Ridvan, Skari against Bell. That was a bit unexpected because... yeah?
No, please.
Okay, because there was one thing where Skari said, like, you know what? I'm gonna try an 11-inch charge for free. No worries there. He said, okay, didn't make it. Why not? I take a CP. Oh, boom, there it is. That did at least kind of some significant points, but of course, maybe you have to think if you even give that charge. But
Yeah.
No front to bed here. It was just the game was just a bit unlucky.
It happens, yeah.
And we have here Chaos Space Marines against Thousand Suns. We hope for 20-0 here, but obviously 18 plus. Thousand Suns really was with that list. It was so mature at this point, and we had so many reps, and this was really our scorer list right there.
Yeah.
I played the Orcs. That was something we wanted, so it was really good. And this mission,
a good score.
Yeah. And Genestealer Cult also as expected, I'd say. Chaos Knights again was a bit froggy. A few more points there, but still that's okay. And then again, our Necrons here, I don't know.
That's very impressive by Chef.
Yeah, like
that is
skip. Yeah,
that is not a points I would have predicted.
Yeah.
So credit to Valentine on that one.
Yeah, we have to give it to him. Like many times, because we had kind of challenges to pair that list where we called him a tactical drop. In form of a Citan at a helicopter. You just drop him. Please try something, just
see what he does.
There, and see.
Very impressive, very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, with that we go to the last day. So for you were still in it to win it. Of course, you were also dependent on Poland.
Yes. After going into round 7, we were in second place.
Yeah.
But Poland had the half game on us. So we knew that not only would we try to win our game, but if Poland needed to draw or lose.
Yeah.
And we knew that was what we had to aim for. And that is out of our hands, so we just had to do everything we could, and leave it at that.
Poland had it in their own hands to win.
They did. They controlled their own destiny.
So of course, kudos to them at this point. But you went into Sweden, which I think, just on paper, is favorable for you.
Yeah,
it's definitely a bit more. It gives you a better feeling than playing again into Australia or whatever, right? Like from a, let's say, strength perspective.
Yeah, Sweden had a wonderful run this year. They were a phenomenal team and a joy to play against. But we felt like the lists we took and the lists they took lined up well for us.
Yeah.
But of course, we take every opponent very seriously. We know it's always going to be a brawl, so we did everything we could.
Funnily enough, against us, when we had the pairing, Sweden's captain, he put out a card to face some of our faction, and he put the wrong card. It was and there was a moment of silence, tough. Because it could have been quite decisive, like very decisive. He put the wrong knights into our thing,
That could be a problem.
But we all talked about it, and also David, our tactic general, all the stuff. We said, what? No, this is a new era. No, we can still change it. So even though we lost, we don't want to win like this. This is not.
We have a dedicated process of. We had a 3-person pairing team. We had a 3-headed monster, and every person looked at every card before it went down.
Okay.
We held it up, we showed it to every other coach, the part of the pairing process. We all looked at it, and then it went down.
Yeah.
All of us looked first. All 3 of us. There was never one person putting the right card down. All of us had to look at it first.
Like a multi-factor authentication, right?
Absolutely, 3-factor.
Yeah, 3-factor. I don't know what's going on with the camera focus here, but
I think it's because I'm talking with my hands too much.
Really?
So I'll try to.
No worries. Nix Fox, yeah, of course. But sportsmanship is so important in this.
Always.
So but then let's go quickly to the mag shops. You have Luke, Orcs into Genestealer, obviously something you want.
Something we want.
And I think Luke is 20 years young-ish. Maybe.
21, maybe.
So
he's a young guy.
To him.
Performed very well.
I think you gained a lot of experience this year, which is good for the future.
Very important.
Here, first time, I think the reality that Sean has to face with the Tyranids list, everything but Eldar, kind of, So
this was a sacrifice to buy us a different matchup.
Yep. You got into Orcs, which you love all day, every day.
I do.
It's very nice.
A wonderful opponent. Again, a very high quality game.
The Swedish guys,
all top quality.
Great guys. Eric into Custodes. I think that's also about expected.
We thought we would be the high end of it, but a close game was not surprising.
Yeah. Then Matt going into Deathwatch, I think Eldari, do what Eldari do. Can be 20-0, can be 18-2, I don't know.
Yep.
Jack into Necrons.
I think his 4th game of the Necrons. Yeah. He just played Necrons.
And it's so, for me, it would be like, oh no, now we come into the Feel No Pain phase, you kill them, this and that is really annoying, huh? You wanted to have a draw or what? Or?
We thought this one went a little off of our expectations. Jack, the very short version I got from Jack was that the dice were not favorable. I do not have specific examples, unfortunately, but I think Jack expected a higher number there. But luckily it worked out. But that was the one where we thought that game going the way we thought would take us over 100, but obviously still getting a quality win into a quality team is good for us.
Yeah, gotcha. Something is wrong.
Yeah, it's just autofocusing.
Yeah, all the time, but I don't know what to do. But anyways, then we have Anthony here. It's just his list with the oblets into knights is just
that was
players
part of the plan.
Just a sad person for that game, of course.
Of course.
And then Jaime into Chaos Knights also not nice for Death Watch. I think that's about to be expected, right?
Yeah, we expected a loss. We weren't really clear on what the margins would be, but a 6-14 is perfectly within expectations. No problem with that. We knew that wasn't a good matchup for Jaime, but Jaime, again, Chaos Knights were actually weirdly good to our team. We wanted to keep it away from our orcs, and from our Tyranids, and from our Genestealer cult. And funny enough, I only want to play it if I pick the table. And suddenly we're like, oh wow, Chaos Knights. We didn't want it, but we also don't really want to play against it.
Of course,
and so Jaime taking that for us was very valuable, even though a 6 point doesn't look like it contributes. That was
it does.
It helps a lot. I just want to emphasize, because Jaime unfortunately was handed many matchups that did not look good for Jaime. I just want to emphasize to maybe people who have not done a WTC before, maybe haven't personally played in it, that is still a very valuable role. Very valuable. Jaime performed very well, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And he's 26, 24, something like that.
23, 24, 25. I know he's younger than I am.
He just finished his Masters or something like that.
Yeah, I would say 24 maybe.
Yeah.
Another young guy getting a lot of very good experience who has a lot of potential.
Yeah, like Vesco said, thank you for the compliment. We all appreciate when you can take something from us, entertainment, knowledge, whatever. That's what we're here for. So you won that one, 94-66 in this late into the tournament. This is quite a big win. Obviously, if you can go triple digits, 100 plus, that's kind of
always good.
Not a stomp, but a very significant win, because the matches get so much tougher. After you won this, how did you feel like, and what
we knew before our round ended that Poland would win.
Okay.
So because I was checking in, because I was pushing for points in my game, because we knew that we were actually down on tiebreaker points into Poland. So we actually had a number, 98. If we score 98 points and Poland ties or loses, we win WTC. And now if we score 94 and Poland loses, we win. If we score 94 and Poland draws, but not a very high draw, like if they get like an 80 draw, we win. 98 was, we do 98, Poland doesn't win, it's ours. 94 was, it'll come down to how many points Poland scores in a draw. It was very close. So we wanted 98, but our numbers didn't matter by the end of it, because we heard the Poland scores were coming in 20-0 Eldar into Tyranids, 20-0 Guard into Custodes. Those came in very fast. We knew very quickly Poland would win the round. And from that point, we just said, you know what? Let's just get our win here.
Make it clean.
Get that podium, not count on any tiebreakers, get as good as we can, and congratulate Poland on a year well won.
Yeah, totally makes sense. For our last game, we drew a newborn classic. Last year already Spain, this year again.
Spain.
I have to say, from my point, I think from a player's sportsmanship, not that they have a super bad reputation, but it's just sometimes the southern mentality style can be a bit proggy. But I think we can speak for this year. Spain really gentlemen, top players. They really played us very well, so we really enjoyed it. We had here a draw in the end of the day. We really wanted to win this one. Would have been really nice for a clean, last game. We have here our Death Watch playing into Chaos Demons. A bit off. Me, Manu, I am shout out here, great player. I wanted to have one more point on this one, but he had, I can just say after 3 turns, he had 29 on secondaries. And I was like,
3 turns!
Come on, man, I give you 5 per card, it's good, and maybe something, but he always had these 5-5 combination. Yeah. And then this 1-1 find and investigate signals. I'm like, yeah, okay, you know what. But
that's a lot, yeah.
So yeah, so I wanted to, that's what I forecasted, but I wanted to have 3 points there. But anyhow,
but the Custodes Eldar matchup is always dangerous. It's always dangerous.
Yeah. It's very dangerous. Here, this is okay. Also, a point more would have been nice. This was expected. Not maybe 20-0. Arno performed you over. I mean, Turox are one of the best Bonsons players in the world. He 20-0'd him. Maybe that also, I don't know, because he had the Chaos, the Terminator brick. Arne didn't.
Yeah.
And I know that Luis is really supporting this brick, so I don't know if he...
I don't understand T-Suns at all.
Yeah.
The T-Suns mirror is above my pay grade.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I have no idea what that matchup is.
Yeah.
No idea.
Sure, man.
All I know is that both armies can turn on hazardous psychic weapons, feel no pain against psychic at any point. And they're all made of psychic. Like, that's
They can
right.
triple move, they can double...
Yeah, it's a boom, boom, boom. Everything everywhere. So credit to Arn for what can only be a crazy mirror. I cannot imagine that being an easy mirror.
Yeah, of course. I mean, then in the last games here, like the Chaos Knight, this is expected against Orcs.
Yeah.
Genestealer Court, maybe a point more if possible. Necrons, we hope to get something out there.
Oh, that is surprising. Yeah.
Yeah, like that would have been nice. And this obviously Matthias here. And there was also two crucial situations. I don't know them out of the top of my head, but obviously a loss against Custodes here was very unfortunate.
The unexpected part of that to me is that that's table 8, which I believe is the light table.
Mm-hmm.
So I very much see Custodes beating Eldar on heavy tables.
Yeah, but
I've done it myself, but I've always hinged on the heavy table to pull it off. Light tables is very difficult.
Yeah.
So, you know, credit to Jordi, of course.
Yeah, of course, for this one. So, but yeah, the draw still is fine. For us, kind of fits to the tournament, which also brings us a little bit to the closing of the session today.
Of course.
So, obviously, we go to placings one more time. Second this year, you're obviously super satisfied and content with that. Could have been more, but I think that's the minimum that you... Or third place was the minimum, and this was like the forecast, maybe.
Anything but a podium would have been very, very disappointing.
Yeah.
Anything but a podium was disappointing to us. Because last year was 4th, we were just off the podium, and we wanted to win last year, and we were disappointed when we couldn't win. And then going into the last round, we knew we couldn't win. It was mathematically impossible. Our highest was 2nd. Like, whatever, we'll just go podium and it'll be a consolation prize. And then we didn't podium.
Yeah.
Because we drew against you instead of winning. You know, due to some effort on your part as well. So when we didn't podium, we were like, oh, okay, we want to podium minimum. And the team is very, very happy with how we did. I'm a little bit of a sourpuss. Nothing but gold matters. But I'm very proud of our team. I'm very happy for our team because we had such a new process, such a turnover of players. We only returned 4 of our 8 players from last year.
Yeah.
So we brought in a lot of new players who didn't have WTC experience. We tried a new method. We tried new everything, a new addition change. We were very proud of that. We do believe this was successful. We are very proud that 2 years in a row, the team that won was 6 wins and a draw against the US. Because the last 2 champions could not beat us.
Yeah.
And Poland earned that win, but they also know they didn't beat us. And so next year, they will know they didn't beat us.
Next year, their time has come, you say.
Next year, their time has come. It's come up. We're nothing but up for us.
Yeah. I think also the more time will pass on from here on, the more content you will be with your result.
I am, you know, I always want, I just want a little more, but I'm very proud of how the team did overall. I mean, I am very, very happy that we got the podium. We got that 2nd place. I know this is the most difficult tournament in the world to win.
Yeah,
I know it is. And so, I'm happy, but I'm hungry.
Of course, no, always stay hungry.
Always stay hungry.
Liriviel is asking, in hindsight, which factions would you want to have switched out on your teams?
Death Watch for Space Wolves.
Yeah.
Give Jaime what he wants.
Yeah.
It's too early for that. Unfortunately, I could say that I wanted to add the perfect T-Suns to our list, but there wasn't a list I want to cut.
Okay.
So if we could bring a 9th person, I think we would have beaten Poland.
Vesca says good call because he's a Space Wolves lover, you know.
Of course. But a little too early to answer that. So with a good answer, unfortunately.
If I have to make a call here, you know, I would say I think I would drop the Necrons.
But they did so well.
Yeah, but I still would drop them. I would drop the Marines, and maybe the Chaos Knights But the chaos knights I really liked. I just would drop the chaos knights because of the team composition, because our Tyranid player could play that list very well. But let's say we would keep the knights because we were satisfied with them. And instead of Marines and the Necrons, definitely Tyranids have to go in, and Astra or Tau, something like that. I think that's what we would change, or maybe even Orcs. Definitely Tyranids.
Orcs are pretty froggy.
And maybe Orcs or Astra or Tau, something like that. But that's just a quick shot right now.
Of course.
And then, is there a team you would have liked to face that you have? Of course, like for us, Poland, not facing them means, for us, it's an indicator we didn't perform at this WTC kind of, because as you know, we both have titles in our history in the World Team Championship, and whenever it came to that title, there was Poland involved. So that's our kind of biggest rival, and kind of and so there we are. So with that, maybe give a perspective from here on out, like the WTC 2023 is over. How do you want to kind of move on from here on with the Team USA for next year?
I think our Team USA tradition is to take the month of September off. Now, obviously, we could start preparing on Tuesday, but realistically, a little bit of a break is healthy for the mind. No knowledge we gain in September will be useful in August. So for me, it's September is a little bit of focus a little bit more on family and my non-40K friends who I perhaps neglected a little bit in the last month.
Only a little bit.
Take my girlfriend on a couple more date nights since I maybe had a few TTS nights in the last month and so, more than a month. So for me, it's a little bit of a refresh, a breath. Also because for me at least, Games Workshop has indicated a balance in September. We don't know when. There are Tyranid and Space Marine codexes coming soon. We don't know when. Those are my two largest collections. The balance patch is in September. I need to make up some time with my wonderful Michaela. I'm going to go to a wedding. So for me, WTC is like the end of the year. It's like graduation. And you move on to a new year soon. But first, you take a small vacation. Of course. So for me, this is the capstone. It's been an 11-month process. I'm so proud of the work we put in. I'm so happy. I'm also so excited to do it again. So with any luck, I'll be playing for Team USA next year. Of course, we'll take our little break before we reconvene and determine the future of the team every year. I hope to be a part of it. If not, I'll be cheering for them loudly. If I can't play, I'll coach. If I can't coach, I'll cheer. But no matter what, I'm very excited to see what comes next for Team USA because I'm so happy with our direction. Yeah. And that's the big thing for me.
I mean, I think that's kind of also the harvest or the fruits that you reap from the seeds you placed last year. Yeah. Right? Restructuring, streamline processes and all this stuff. And I feel like also that is something or some kind of position where we as Germany found ourselves again. Because if we look at Poland, for example, how they performed and how they in general live and deliver on team events, playing, they are such a team playing nation as well.
Absolutely.
We have to also say from our rivalry perspective, we are behind, and we have to, in order to catch up, which we will, we have to definitely touch some points and change some things there. So we definitely are going to have to consider, even we have 60 applicants this year. We're going to keep that, maybe even more, and streamline this process more. That's all good. We want to find the team, I think, sooner. This is only assumptions I'm doing right now, which I took for myself, right? But this is one thing. We want to see if we can find also country collaborations, maybe other seed 1 nations, so that we don't end up in the same pot for next year, for example.
That's fair.
That's something that we want to look at, and general visiting more team events is also crucial. So I think the time is good for that, because also you have we both have I think 2 big tournaments left for this year, or maybe 1 tournament or something like that. Right?
I haven't really planned out my tournaments. I know I have 2 tournaments that I know I'm going to, which is the 2 GW events left, which is Tampa and Atlanta, both driving distance to me, both very large. One is my hometown, the other was an invitational that I've received a ticket to, so I know those 2. Beyond that, I've decided nothing. I see this as the break, and some things I just look at and I say, I'll decide after WTC. I'll decide after. I'll put money on that later. I'll buy that ticket later. I'll plan that month later. This was what mattered.
Yeah.
And now we're here. It was very good, but now I take a week and then I look at the future.
Yeah. I mean, for us also one of the biggest revelations was or learnings from this year is since we brought with also our own streaming team we brought the WTC to the German-speaking community.
Absolutely.
Or any German-speaking person in the world who wanted to listen and watch. And that I feel like was also community-wise a huge step forward. So we really want to use that not only for the next WTC, we also should use that for the process of team selection, everything involved to have even more transparency, even more entertainment, even more learning, because we see the community wants to see that. They long for that. The support was there even in the downsides, in the defeats in this tournament. So that was really, really great to see, and was really also some extra % of motivation for us players.
Yep.
So I really want to go also more into that direction. So I think that's what we take.
Yep. And we want the same. This was the first year we had an English-speaking stream doing it as well. Joe from War Games Live was not a direct affiliate of the USA team, but of course he's a good friend of many of ours. We love his channel. We love his work. He's a phenomenal member of the US community. Yes. And so it felt great to have him there and to see him there. And again, to bring it to the United States, because with the time zones, it's sometimes hard to follow along.
Yes.
When I'm not at ETC, I would wake up and check how the team did for the day.
Yeah.
And I'd already know. I'd be like, oh, they're done playing for the day as I'm eating my breakfast Cheerios. So it was fun that there were streams, because I got a lot more messages from my friends in the United States this year than I did last year.
Yeah.
And I can only assume that's because Joe from War Games Live brought it to the US, to the audience.
It's amazing.
So.
And for me, I also, it inspired me. We will not reveal anything now, but there might be some nice events or plans for next year. So please stay tuned for that. Harold, we thank you very much for the compliment. I think with this, we will close out for today. Thank you guys all for the support, for this some donations we saw right there. Thank you for any Amazon Prime sub that you give us. You trust with us. John, it was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much. Any shout outs you want to do or plugs you want to do here at the end for the audience out there?
I'd absolutely love to. So if you're at all unfamiliar with me, if you want to see more of my content, I am part of the Art of War channel. So if you want to get more 40K, if you want to see more of my smiling face, make sure you check out our YouTube channel. It's Art of War 40K.
Yes.
And of course, subscribe. We put out a lot of content. We put out free battle reports every week. We put out 3 to 4 free YouTube videos every week. We have YouTube memberships, and of course we have the Worm, which is our our wonderful global community. We have a very active international Discord. We have more coaching matches. You can kind of learn to become your best at 40K and get access to our wonderful Discord, where you can get coaching from players like myself, Jack Harpster, Nick Donavati, Richard Siegler, many more, many very talented players. And again, have to emphasize this, a wonderful community that's dedicated to enjoying the game we all love and just becoming, the best player you can be.
Yeah, as a Tiger and only Andy, thank you for the following.
Thank you.
Want to really grow our Twitch platform here, especially the War Room guys. If you are kind of interested in competitive playing, or at least go to a tournament a year or so, you can always pay the $27 a month. I think you can also do it monthly, right? You can say,
and you can even do a free trial.
Yeah, you can do a free trial as well, and you can see how many games a week? 3 games a week?
3 games a week.
So you can, if you don't have as much practice as a player in real life because you have family and kids or what, you can watch these games and take some shortcuts there and see your faction played. So it also helped me or other players. So guys, if you want to check this out, you can always try it out. So highly recommend. And any other shout outs?
Just a shout out to all of my friends on Team USA.
Yeah.
Every single one of them worked their rear ends off. Every one of them did amazing things. And one last shout out to Adrian for helping me out so much, making the whole trip possible. I was lucky enough to spend some time in Germany here, and it's always good to see you again, always good to be here, and man, it's an honor to compete at WTC.
Yeah, it really was. You're always welcome, man. And also for you guys, please keep supporting us, Kings of the Hill. Our main mission is to get more people into the hobby, make people who are already in the hobby more productive and retain them in the hobby. It's very important because we feel like there's more to come in the near future, you know, with Henry Cavill doing stuff like this.
Of course.
And very excited for that. So as I also personally will put more effort, especially in the second half of the year, since the WTC is off my shoulders kind of in a positive way, I can now focus more on other things as well. So stay tuned there. We really want to develop things. Thank you for the support. We always love your critique, as long as it's constructive and polite, you know. So that's the name of the game. With that, we are out for tonight. Thank you for tuning in. 50 viewers on average is very good for a spontaneous stream for us. So have a good one, and I see you on the next one.
All right.
Bye,
Thank you
guys.
so much. Bye-bye.